Hang on. Anybody that wants to make an argument that the I-12 needs to be widened the whole way through, I'm here to listen. We need that other bridge here in Baton Rouge, but priority-wise around the state, absolutely necessary. All right, I assume he's talking about on YouTube. All right. We'll talk a little bit about vacations. We'll talk a little bit about roadies, road trips, and whatnot. Cade Wazan's along for the ride this morning. Cade, welcome aboard. How are you, sir?
Doing well, Brian.
So,
I put myself in 4 too.
Yeah.
Inside joke, or inside message, but yeah, fair enough.
you hit the road last week, right?
I did, yeah.
Y'all went to, where'd y'all go?
Where did we go? Oh, it's been a week.
It has.
So we took a cruise, but we went to New Orleans and got on the cruise and didn't have to get on the roads at all.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought you went to Disney. That was earlier this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check back in February. We got another trip planned.
All right.
But yeah, it was nice to get out on the water, and you didn't have to drive anywhere.
Pre-pandemic levels is going to be the theme here because that's what CBS is going to be talking about
I'll tell
throughout.
you this, I thought the boat was probably pre-pandemic levels. The last time we went on a cruise was 2017, and there was about maybe a little over 3,000 people on the boat. So I think it was a little more full. I don't know what it was like. Yeah, I wasn't in any cruises that
During the pandemic. Right.
But
Who would do that? Anyway.
and we didn't take any initially when they came back. So, but to give you a perspective, it felt like it would have felt, to me at least, on a boat prior to the pandemic.
So hop on YouTube, let us know. You plan on traveling for the 4th of July weekend? If so, are you bracing yourself? Are you giving yourself extra hours on the road, extra time at the airports? Are you prepared for your flight to be canceled? Because it looks like that's going to be happening a lot. We'll break it down as the show wears on. Plus, we'll talk about some of the events going on in and around Baton Rouge for the 4th of July weekend as well. Right now, though, we are due up for our first break, so let's go ahead and take that break now. We will come back next with sports on Talk 107.3. All right, I now have a clock. So, 4 feeds the internet, right? It unnerves me that people take it out of 4 at all. Like, you shouldn't have to diagnose that. Right. No, yes, you know that, but you shouldn't have to diagnose that on the fly. It should always be in 4. The cough button's backwards now. Off is on. Well, it's the opposite of what it was before. Of course there was.
I don't know what it was. I just hit the button. I hit the button on the cough. Whatever position it was in, I did the opposite of the light started working.
There we go. Got that going now. Of course not.
Right, it didn't.
Of course not.
You know why?
That thing, I guess I'm not familiar with it, but yeah, now up.
Okay.
I had for you while you were gone is,
Okay. Did he hop on? So, okay.
I don't have his number. So.
Neither do I.
I wish I had.
I have his press guy, but
Oh yeah. I mean, we covered great. We did a great job. Talk law, talk food. It was great.
good.
Good time was had by.
All right, you got those LRN cuts for sports?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that she's gonna recut it. Oh, that's the same one twice. 616 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Sports time here on Talk 107.3 FM. Pelicans introduced their new rookies. We'll get to that in a second. Since we're talking sports, though, I want to remind you what's going on our sister station a couple weeks from now. 2 weeks from Monday, actually. Monday, July 18th through Thursday, July 21st, our sister station 104.5 ESPN is going to be covering the 2022 SEC Football Media Days presented by Hudco Roofing. Coverage brought to you locally by Jerry Lane and Rejuvame and by 104.5 ESPN's official SEC Media Days sports betting partner, DraftKings. If you have not experienced the coverage of SEC Media Days, I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend taking advantage of the video side of this too, because what used to be the traditional Radio Row with our video capabilities now has brought new life to it. It's a whole new ball game. SEC Media Days is a whirlwind. I mean, the 18th through the 21st, I believe, is LSU on day one?
They're on day one. Yeah.
LSU is on day one.
I will tell you who I missed, though, from that group before you move on.
Who?
Is the old ball coach.
Oh, man.
When he was at a podium at one of these things and a bag of, like, Golden Flakes.
Yeah.
It was just sit back theater and watch.
Oh, absolutely. Now, to be fair, though, Lane Kiffin has kind of moved into that role.
He asked for Kevin Durant to join the SIP yesterday. So, Twitter troll and all.
I mean, yeah, Lane Kiffin has kind of moved in. He's the new old ball coach. But this year is going to be all about Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban and whether or not they're going to fight. Like, just actually fist fight in the parking lot. I'm down with that. I'm here for all of it. July 18th through 21st, our SEC Media Days coverage on 104.5 ESPN. So the Pelicans introduced rookies Dyson Daniels and E.J. Liddell to the media on Thursday. Roster loaded with players looking for minutes. Coach Willie Green says right now, this is a good problem to have.
We expect a very competitive camp. They'll get on the floor, they'll compete, and we'll figure out who's going to play. You know, we're excited to have a deep roster. In the NBA, things happen. To have a deep roster is a positive for us because it'll be competitive, and it just means that we can plug guys in and out, and we can just keep rolling.
What you're looking for if you're the Pelicans is not just point scorers, because you've got point scorers. You put up plenty of points during the season last year. Dyson Daniels is a 6'7" point guard. He was the team's top choice heading into the draft, according to general manager Trajan Langdon. Now, you can't just be a point scorer. You got to play on both ends of the floor, and Daniels can help the team in a number of ways, including on the defensive end.
Bring a lot to the table, especially on the defensive end. You know, I love to defend, and my offense has come a long way. Being able to play, make, being able to shoot the ball as well. Play different positions. So I think there's so many different roles that I can play on a team, and obviously the Pelicans are great players, great staff, great coaching staff. So there's no better place to be than here right now.
You don't really often get a whole lot of great picks in the second round. E.J. Liddell was a surprise at the 41st pick. Liddell says his competitiveness is his greatest asset, and New Orleans is a perfect fit for him.
I feel like I just bring that dog mentality as well because I have a lot of guys on the team who play with a chip on their shoulder, and I feel like me being here, playing like I've always played, is just effort side of the ball on defense and offense, and I feel like I can do that here.
I just like being able to talk Pelicans basketball at this stage of the year. I mean, we're on July 1. I know it was only like 2 months worth of offseason, though, right? All right, quick break. Here's Fox Business Report on Talk 107.3. Can you post the YouTube link to Talk's Facebook page? Alondra, did you record traffic? Okay, just making sure, because there's like a long and then just like silence for a minute. Yeah, in the one that aired a minute ago. Okay. No, I'll get it. Never mind. What?
Greta Ancestry.
Yeah.
You know who she is, right?
Yeah. She made Court TV famous.
Commentating. You think she's a happy human being?
I don't know. Why? There it is. All right. So yeah, were there any Supreme Court decisions you wanted to sound off on?
We talked significantly on Wednesday about parents in schools.
Yeah.
I'm not up enough on the EPA environmental decision from yesterday or the day before.
Okay.
So, someone posed the question to me: how is it that R. Kelly gets what 30?
I wanted to ask you about that.
And Maxwell gets
20.
Yeah. What did Maxwell end up with?
20.
That seems to be a more broader, like, conspiracy.
So Maxwell was involved in a human trafficking, like,
But she wasn't the bad guy.
Right. But like R. Kelly trafficked tremendously. Franz's mic is not on.
Somebody commented Franz's mic is not on. No, for YouTube always.
How was your trip?
Fine.
Fun.
That's what Facebook is supposed to do.
You don't put the James almost drowns in the water.
James was living his best life on this trip. .624 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got attorney Franz Borghardt coming your way in just a little bit. We're going to have a bonus legally served in our next segment as Franz filled in for me on Wednesday, which, by the way, let me take a moment to thank everybody who filled in while I was out. We had Haggai on Monday. We had Betsy on Tuesday. Franz was in on Wednesday. And then, of course, Pam Matassi yesterday. Hopefully, everything went smoothly while I was gone. I haven't had a chance to catch up yet because yesterday was just a brutal drive back. So 4th of July coming up on 4th of July coming up Monday. We're going to be talking about travel a little bit as the show wears on. I did see this story from our news partners over at the Louisiana Radio Network. You'll hear this story in our news coming up in just a little bit. Cooking out for the 4th of July, going to cost more this year. Avery Davidson with the Louisiana Farm Bureau said every year the American Farm Bureau Federation surveys grocery stores across the country for the average price of burgers, pork chops, and everything else. And apparently, it's going to run you right around $70 this year to feed 10 people. That's up 17% from last year. Remember last year when, was it Vice President Harris was commenting on, or did it come straight from Joe Biden, how hot dogs were cheaper? Like everything else was more expensive, but hot dogs were somehow cheaper. I might be misremembering this.
So that's good for Joey Chestnut.
Oh,
that's about it.
Absolutely it is. Because he's slamming 100 of them. This year, though, up 17% from last year. Everything across the board up 17%. Davidson says it breaks down to just under $7 a person in the South. $64.31 is your cost in the South. $69.68 is nationwide. So we are a little bit cheaper down here. But the price of 4th of July is going to be more expensive this year than it was last year. So, got back from vacation last night, and like I said, brutal drive to get back. I-12 was just awful. Awful. Throughout. Got back from vacation last night, and can I just say, I really appreciate the folks over at the Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet. You never realize how much, you don't realize how much you appreciate your mattress at home until you get back from a vacation where you have to sleep on a mattress that isn't yours. By the way, side note, I guess now would be a perfect time for me to let you know that they've got the 4th of July sale going on right now at the Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet. Queen name brand mattresses, regularly $4.99, now $2.99. Get a full regular that's regularly $4.49 down to $2.49, so basically $200 off for a queen or a regular. By the way, as the temperatures continue to rise, I know it's been cooled off with the rain a little bit, but as we're looking at a hot summer, Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet has the latest technology in cooling mattresses as well as sheets and pillows. Financing's available if you need it. No, by the way, if you mention you heard about it right here on Talk 107.3 FM, if you drop my name, you'll get free delivery and a free pillow as well. Locally owned, you know where to find them. Florida Boulevard in Mid-City, corner of Jefferson and Hoosier 2 in the southeastern quarter of the parish. Locally owned, they will be open all day Monday. 4th of July sale going on right now. So get your Queen name brand mattress or your full regular for about $200 off. $299 for the Queen, $249 for the regular. 4065 Florida Boulevard or the corner of Jefferson and Hoosier 2 for the Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet. So we had what?
You strike me as a California king kind of guy.
Oh, no. We have a queen. We have a queen-size mattress. Just a queen-size mattress in the Haldane. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You deserve a king.
I don't know, man. We're comfortable where we're at.
Okay, I got you.
So every Easter, we free a crawfish, right? When you're boiling all the crawfish, one of them gets the pardon, right? Well, this year that crawfish came home with us. Kids named him Sunday because, we got him on Easter Sunday. And that crawfish is still alive and kicking. We went on vacation and fed the crawfish extra, prepared the kids. Look, we're going to be gone for 4 days. Better than average chance this crawfish is not going to be alive when we get home. We get home last night, crawfish is gone.
Escaped
from an aquarium. Like, popped the hatch, clawed its way out, off the kitchen counter, because the aquarium sits on the kitchen counter, right? Off the counter, onto the floor, gone. Gone, no idea where this crawfish is. The crawfish has disappeared.
How bad was that aquarium that he wanted to get out of there?
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm not investing in a big aquarium for a crawfish that's going to die 2 days after.
Do you have like some water features?
No, there's very little going on in there. There's a pump to keep the air fresh or the water fresh throughout. It's clean. It's clean to be sure. Not a whole lot of decoration. We don't have a little feng shui going for the crawfish. But here's the thing, though. It was like we got home and it was like the Crawshank Redemption.
Are you worried that the crawfish is just going to creep up and come out of somewhere in the house?
It did.
Oh, of course.
I'm like, kids, I don't know what to tell you. The crawfish is gone. We're not going to know where it is until we smell it, till it dies and we smell it in the walls. It comes crawling out in the office, like later on in the night, all covered. Apparently we don't dust behind the curtains well enough because it's got a little dust on it and whatnot. It was the weirdest thing, dude.
So what'd you do with the crawfish?
Put it right back in its tank. I cleaned it off and put it back in its tank.
Duct tape down on the tank?
Electrical tape. But yes, it was the craziest thing. This crawfish made it out of the aquarium, off the counter, onto the floor, through the laundry room to the office. Here comes news.
Freedom's a funny thing. Things we'll do for freedom.
The Crawshank Redemption. What?
What was the Team America? Freedom isn't free, it's a have to.
Oh, hell, I don't remember. That was forever ago.
Why are you busting? Dang, Hans. Why are you busting my balls? Oh, man. All right, so I need a ruling on the field on this one. It is the day before a holiday weekend. It's July 1. Yeah, I was just about to ask. Like, I'm going to go to work today. I'm going to put a good old effort in there. I've got some movie plans with my son later, see the new Minions movie. But I kind of feel like this would be justified as it's a holiday Friday.
It is a holiday Friday.
Category like the day after Thanksgiving. Some of us it depends like how the schedule works. There's like a day or two before Christmas Eve, but today always does feel like it falls where it's a Friday and the weekend's extended to like a Monday. It feels like an actual.
Well, I tell you what feels horrible is a 4th of July Monday.
Oh, golly.
Yeah, 'cause you got the Tuesday. I'd rather have it on a Sunday.
Well, you're back at work on the 5th, right?
Yeah.
I don't have court, so courts don't schedule on the 5th. I mean, some do, but most courts are like, because by extension, most judges are like, hey, I'm on vacation. So,
Yeah.
So this crawfish.
Sunday. Yeah. Like crawled, and the little hole to feed it like it's a little flip, like it pops up. You got to push it down and it pops up.
Is it a male or a female? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I do.
Wouldn't it be funny if the crawfish like laid eggs and multiplied?
Oh man, you'll find those later.
I don't put.
Meanwhile, what were the kids' responses to this?
Just walking around looking for that chicory,
Bro, like we got home and this thing had disappeared. I was baffled by it. It was like a 3-hour mystery.
Is it larger than it was before?
No.
It's about the same size?
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say about the general disposition and health of this crawfish?
I have no idea.
Of a normal size, a large size? I mean, because it had to do. I mean,
So it's already in the time that we've had it, it has shed its exoskeleton and been a soft shell crawfish already.
Oh.
So yeah, it's grown since we've gotten it.
He was looking for a radio to find a little full fillet or something to play on the radio. You had nothing on the radio.
Well, you know, this is the week after Swamp Pop. It was just looking to go home.
What's that movie? Escape from New York.
Yes.
Escape from Haldane.
Snake Plissken.
Yeah.
Who is this person doing weather? I don't know who this is.
There's a lot of people out. Yeah, well, the traffic, Fallon Brown is out today too, so I don't know. Trey already mentioned their short staff.
Yeah.
I don't know the other weather team, additional team members.
Kind of have a Paris Hilton sound to you. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. It's not an insult. Hey, we've been in war together.
Was Wednesday a war?
There were moments there. We just kind of ran out. You never just run out of stuff to talk about, and then you start like, yeah, I thought you might understand. So then I put it on. Let's just talk about food, restaurants, autopilot. This place is good. This place is good. This place is good.
Tune in 9 o'clock.
Wait, what?
I got to tell you, I grabbed a 225 Best of magazine,
Yeah.
and I
didn't.
I just figured out my next Go Rouge episode because I was
didn't-
just flipping pages. I was like, wait a minute. Wait, this is the best. What? This is
Yeah.
the best. Wait a minute.
I saw while I was gone a bunch of people tweeting that Jay got Government Taco's best taco
4 years in a
again.
row.
Right. Which means that he wanted a year that he wasn't even open because Government
Yeah,
Taco was
of
shut down during the
course.
pandemic.
Of course.
Like, I get it.
To Jay's credit, to Jay Ducote's credit, the year they gave, or the scuttlebutt time where they were talking about giving him best chef, he was the first to come out and say what?
He did not go to
I'm
culinary
not-
school.
yeah,
Right.
I'm not a chef.
Right. No, all the credit in the world. But 4 years in a row, and Jay's the first one to say this, retire me. Like, take me out of the running. Let somebody else compete. Well, that's the whole point, isn't it?
Oh, wait a minute, sister.
Isn't that the whole point?
Oh, wait a minute, sister. We got some good tacos here.
Do we?
Who's on for? Yeah, we do actually have some really good we
don't
have some really good taco places that white folk don't normally go to. How about that?
Oh, those are like real tacos, though.
Right.
I mean, like
so
the culinary.
Why are those in the contention?
What's a ghost's favorite food?
Oh God.
I'm not saying that the 225 competition is biased or in any way racist. I'm not saying that.
I stopped paying attention to it because I know I'm never going to be involved in it. So
biggest ego, Franz Borghardt.
Yes. Do what? Oh, they won? Austin? Really? Where was Jay? Where was off the bench?
I think those were, like, if you look in the magazine, they give you, like, percentages of lower, like, not number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I've been listening to a lot of Motley Crue lately. The new weather girl is Jocelyn Wheat, if you were wondering. That's from Renee Smith.
Okay.
I guess I need to move closer. Am I in the video? Yeah, I'm in the video. Yeah.
Yes, it's time for Legally Served. Yes, it's time to welcome in attorney Franz Borghardt. Franz, welcome aboard, sir. How are you, man?
I'm just exhausted.
Are
doing
you?
all this radio?
I mean, yeah, I
Good
appreciate
thing
you
I'm
filling
here.
in on
Good
Wednesday.
thing you can rely on me, unlike Haggai.
Wow, why are you going to start there?
Just calls balls and strikes like I see it. I'm a good judge.
I mean,
in that respect.
Here's the
I
thing,
love
though.
Haggai. I really do love Haggai.
He filled in on Monday.
Let me tell you something. If you ever want one of the best coffee mugs in the world, and this is a bold statement, not best coffee mugs, Tech Gumbo. Those coffee mugs, he puts a lot
It's
of
a
heart and soul in
bucket.
that.
It's a bucket of coffee.
It is the California king of coffee
It is.
mugs. Be our mattress outlet.
Yeah, look, that popped
There
up
you
right
go.
when you said it.
All right.
All right, we got a couple of different stories to cover. I was out of town while the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 on everything.
Except if you Google a little publicized case about Oklahoma and tribal law, there was actually one of the conservative justices erred towards or sided with the dissent, the liberal justices.
Really?
And it was about the jurisdiction of trying cases on tribal land versus the government being able to prosecute there. It was very boring for the rest of the world, but interesting that we saw our first falling outside the company lines, so to speak. So yeah, you missed some big Supreme Court.
So I was playing catch up with all of them last night. You told me y'all did
We did prayers on the football fields. We did precedent. We talked about precedent. We talked about we talked about a lot of stuff. Richard Sprinkle was here. Shout out to Richard. Dick Sprinkle.
He does a good job.
He does. He background in radio too.
Yeah,
Or
no, I
also-
know, and then the podcast is awesome as well. The Supreme Court ruling on the prayer at the football field completely misrepresented throughout the media. I mean,
What was it?
well, let me just
So
let me read some headlines for you.
So I said, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm Roman Catholic. But let's say this tomorrow, I decided I wanted to be a football coach, which is laughable on many levels. And I decided I don't want to be Catholic anymore. I want to become a Satanist. I want to worship the Dark Master, the Dark Lord, Satan, Beelzebub, Mephisto, whatever. And I decided, hey, we're going to pray on the field a satanic prayer. It would have totally been a different decision. It would have totally been a different decision.
Well, first of all, it's a hypothetical.
Yeah.
You can't walk down that path.
Yeah.
Secondly,
I definitely can't coach football, but I might be able
well,
to become a
aside
Satanist.
from that, yeah. But, okay,
Conferences-
headline.
conferences-
The U.S. Supreme Court is letting prayer back into public schools. Is it? Okay. Headline, school prayer, SCOTUS ruling stirs campus debate on religion. This is a football coach who voluntarily prays on the football field.
So the question number one is a school coach as a quote-unquote government entity, because if we can, whether we like it or not, a public school football coach is employed by the quote-unquote government by Supreme Court precedent, for today at least, is praying on the football field making someone pray?
No.
Is there an effect if Timmy or Susie doesn't want to pray? Are they somehow negatively impacted by not praying?
If Timmy or Susie don't go to a football game, are they negatively impacted there?
Well, that's the thing is, should Timmy have to pray on the field to play football?
No.
Okay.
Does Timmy have to pray on the field to play football?
That is so that's the counter argument, right? Is no, you're not making them pray, but are you ostracizing them and are emotionally impacting them as a result of that?
But isn't the other argument saying the Supreme Court has ruled that prayer is not illegal?
So what the Supreme Court is saying is we're staying out of it. We talked about this on Wednesday. Is we're not involved. It's optional. You're not making them do it. The First Amendment deals with establishment clause. The government doesn't establish religions, and the free exercise clause, which is we don't make people exercise. You can do, like I said, if Franzi wants to become a Satanist, and slay ghosts. Well, actually, slaying goats and sacrificing ghosts is governed.
That would be different. Yeah,
that's governed by health department rules and regulations. But, you got what I'm saying. For the record, Franz Borghardt does not worship the Dark Lord.
I understand.
Satan.
So, but where is the line there not with Satan, but where's the line there with stopping somebody from the free exercise thereof? That part of it is important.
So that it's easier when it's a first-grade class and Miss Smith goes, Brian, will you lead us in prayer today? That's different than and we all agree, a moment of silence or a moment of silent meditation is always okay.
Why?
We've always been okay with that because it's not prayer. You're just being quiet for a period of time. Meditation is not prayer. It's reflection. That's not religion. What is that? I don't know.
The part that bothers me about this guy was just doing what this guy does.
Right.
And it turns into a thing.
Well, we don't get to do, hold on. We don't get to do whatever we want to do.
Okay,
because we do it.
No, but you got to go back to the roots of this, and this coach just wanted to pray. Others followed along. And now it's a problem.
Yeah, I think that's the way the Supreme Court framed it. Right, is this guy walking to the middle of the field and taking a knee and praying. Whoever joins him, joins him. That's the first argument. The counter argument is, well, is he just doing this, or is there a negative impact? And look, we're in a weird world right now. Depending on where you take a knee on a football field, you're either ostracized or championed, or you become a hero. Nike gives you a contract.
Right.
Okay? Where you take a knee and why you take a knee on a football field right now has interesting consequences and results. Now, that all being said, does that football coach praying on the field, is that going to create other scenarios of prayer in schools that this court's going to have to deal with?
See, that's the part that I can't get on board with. Because it's not. I don't know how you could say that it is.
Erosion's a funny thing. When I'm told I can do something, look, I'm a rule follower.
No, it's not being told you can do something. This would be the opposite, but being told you can't do something.
You've got a line in the sand, and you got folks on one side and the other side of the line in the sand, and now you got a line in the sand that seems to have moved a little bit in one direction. And so if I can just move it a little bit more, and move it a little bit more, and move it a little bit more, that to me is the optic of this decision, is whether or not it was actually forced prayer or not. It's what's the next step? Because we can agree, well, whereas we may disagree with the decision, we can agree that people don't take just an inch. They take a foot. I'm sorry, it's true.
But the problem is you're not allowed to shut it down.
Correct. Galen writes on your YouTube live, he has a constitutionally protected right to pray.
Right.
That is correct. An individual. The question becomes, is it particular? I mean, let's say other students, and I joke tongue-in-cheek about the satanic prayer, but let's say there was a Muslim student that said, Coach, I want to pray a Muslim prayer. If that was
Have at
okay,
it, Hoss.
if it was okay, and it's like, have at it, Hoss, that's one thing. If it was, we don't pray Muslim prayers on this football
Okay,
field.
but you're walking down a path that doesn't exist. That this scenario hasn't happened yet. You can't. The Supreme Court can't rule on something until it happens, right?
This Supreme Court's doing all sorts of crazy things.
Well, that's what I want to talk about when we come back. We're due up for a break. It is coming up on 647 at Talk 107.3 FM. Quick break. We'll check your money now. Alondra will have our traffic. We're right back at it with Legally Served here on Talk 107.3 FM. Hey, can you move the camera slightly Franz's way? Just a little bit?
By the way, we have a new Supreme Court justice.
We do.
Yeah. Historic, black female. Shout out to her. Best coffee shop ambiance. CC's.
No.
Now, I didn't come up with the results. I'm just reporting on them. Best. Hold on. I'm okay if you want to make it best ambiance is one category, best flavored coffee is another. Because I do enjoy CC's coffee as I drink McDonald's cafe right now. Right. I do enjoy CC's coffee. I think Community Coffee does have a good brand of coffee. But best ambiance?
How can you have ambiance in a drive-thru?
Well, I think they meant like people that would sit in there.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. The ambiance is having.
Dang, Jimmy! We would have been okay with some.
This is some gourmet shit.
That's from Pulp Fiction for those who don't know. Eric, not the first black on the court.
He said if it was up to the left.
I know. Galen, the Supreme Court will be there tomorrow. Will be here tomorrow. They can rule on further erosion. That is my word of praying.
Right.
I pray, and it's for the record.
Oh.
I love prayer. I pray all the time. I enjoy talking.
Huge prayer guy.
I'm spiritual as F. There's a T-shirt. They have. I thought that would be a cool T-shirt. I looked it up. There is a T-shirt. Spiritual AF. I mean that tracks, right? I'm glad we're talking about this. I mean, this is good stuff. We can talk about this if you want to, but this is good stuff. Was it almost like a throw? Like it was so hard that you felt like you threw it?
Yes, it fell out of my hand like hard as fuck, and I almost cried. And I looked at my phone, and it wasn't cracked.
Gotta love that.
And I said, "Thank you, God."
And it's prayer.
Galen, I am not. I said at the beginning of the segment, I'm not up to speed on. I know that there was an EPA decision. I'm not. I guess what I'm saying.
We're gonna have
is,
Mike Moncla on.
Yeah, I'm not the
Tuesday.
guy to talk about that one. I haven't read it yet. I just saw the headline.
Two, it's very specific.
Well, I think you need to have an industry person talk about that one.
And I will.
Like murder, blood and guts, prayer on football fields. I'm that guy all day long. So I'm just hearing you guys right. It's okay to phone in the Friday before the 4th of July, which is on a Monday. I mean, we got Stranger Things segment 2 just came out, or I guess part 2 came out today.
What?
It's the second
That
half.
show's still around?
Well, they half the season, so the second set of episodes came out today, and then we've got an episode of The Boys. I mean, we've got a lot of like binge-worthy TV. Oh, I love The Boys.
I'm rewatching season 5 of Better Call Saul before finishing it out because it's been 2 years since I've seen it. It took forever to do.
That's going to be a show that it's going to be a show I binge. I watched the first couple of seasons and I just couldn't keep up.
What, Better Call Saul?
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Do it.
I also want to do a Breaking Bad binge. How many seasons was that? Like
6, I thought.
Yeah. Kangaroo on the loose in Zachary.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Back home safe.
That tracks.
Well done, Cade. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That comes to you from the First Amendment of the Constitution. We're talking about it right now as part of Legally Served. Franz Borghardt in with us. Nor prohibit the free exercise thereof. That's the part that
You have competing rights, right? You've got the rights of the coach, the rights of the kids. You've got it's a and what complicates it is the coach is an individual and he does have rights, but he's also employed by the school. And again, the school.
So if you're employed by the school, you can prohibit the free exercise thereof.
No, you
see.
you
That's
want
where
to
it's
frame
sticky.
if you want to frame it that way. Yeah. So this is easy in private schools. Private schools can do whatever they're crazy. They can make all sorts of crazy rules.
The day that the coach says, "Y'all join me in prayer," to me. That's where the line gets crossed.
So I want. You know what's unfortunate is I want more specific facts. I want to know, is it, hey, we're going to all go take a knee and be quiet on the center of the 50? Well, is that prayer? Well, a moment of prayer or silence? Part of me, look, I'll say again. I said it off the air. I'll say it again on the air. I love prayer. I'm a big fan of prayer. Prayer makes my life very wonderful. That being said, the Constitution says what the Constitution says, and can you separate the coach as an individual and the coach as a teacher? That's the complicated thing. Now, that all being said, the United States Supreme Court has made this decision for us. It said, hey, we're staying out of it, and that's okay.
Okay, so, and this is where it's going to swing back and forth because we saw Roe v. Wade swing back and forth last week as well. Which brings us around to, and I don't want to talk about Roe v. Wade because...
All right. I don't have the right... I'm not the right guy to talk about it.
Well, why not? You're an attorney.
Nah, I'm not the right guy to talk about it.
Okay.
I
Anyway,
have the right parts.
Don't do
I'm
that.
sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. It's true.
Men are not allowed to have an opinion as to whether or not...
I think if you're going to have legal commentary on Roe v. Wade or Dobbs, I think you need to have a woman legal analyst.
Why?
Not me. I just don't think I'm the right person for it.
Okay.
I have strong feelings
Roe
about
v.
abortion.
Wade, okay, you
I
have to
strong feelings about abortion. But that being said,
separate the feelings about abortion versus the feelings of what Roe v. Wade was actually about. That which isn't in the Constitution is relegated back to the states. That's all that this is about.
so what's interesting to me, and what I will talk about, and what Richard and I talked about on Wednesday for Legally Served is, what's interesting to me on the Dobbs decision is we had been seeing decisions that where the justices hinted at, we believe that we can overturn our own precedent. And we kind of knew that, right? Brown v. Board of Education, Plessy v. Ferguson.
Right.
We knew that it wasn't like everything's not etched in stone. We change, we evolve, we have different worldviews on certain things. What's interesting about this decision is it does delegate back to the states, right? But there is an extension of that delegation with regard to other decisions, and Justice Thomas alludes to this. What about same-sex marriage? You know, I mean, because that's alluded to in the decision. The state, Texas could say, hey, we're making sodomy illegal again.
So,
And that would essentially address that. And then what does this Supreme Court say? We nullify same-sex marriage? And if they nullify same-sex marriage, what does that have to have? What does that do to all the licensed individuals who were married under that previous law? What does that do? I don't know. These are complicated questions.
But marriage can carry over from state to state. Abortion does not have to. Like just because you get an abortion.
Does marriage carry over state to state if my state doesn't recognize your marriage? So full faith.
No, but
so talking about states' rights delegate, concealed carry permit. My concealed carry permit that Louisiana issues is a license. It doesn't carry over to every state. It does carry over to Texas, but if I go to say New York, it's not valid. Different states recognize it, different states don't. So when you start going into the realm of we're going to delegate this decision making to the states, which I'm okay with, it has a ripple effect. And it's not me. Clarence Thomas mentions this in his decision. We should revisit and overturn these other decisions we have. Oddly enough, he doesn't mention the interracial marriage decision, which would directly affect him. He doesn't mention that. But he does mention certain other decisions. That all being said, what's also interesting to me is Kavanaugh mentions in his decision, I am not outlawing you going to another state to get an abortion.
Right.
And in fact,
but that's the point of the whole.
Kavanaugh has telegraphed if you want to prosecute someone for doing that, I'm not on board with that. The other side of that argument is, well, that's great if you have the means to go to another state to get an abortion. The individual who doesn't have a means to go to another state financially, economically, based on their age.
But that's not the Supreme Court's job, is to determine what people's means are.
Correct.
It's the Supreme Court's job to say, this is what the Constitution says, this is what the law already says. It's not in the Constitution, it belongs to the states. So if you want to take up that battle, take it up in your state legislature.
So the law of unintended consequences, we've talked about this before, is what's the ripple effect of this decision? What are the states now going to do? Is it going to be a free-for-all where some states are going to say, hey, we don't do that here? Well,
absolutely it is.
We've seen that before, right?
Yeah.
I think the complicated issues are the special victim provisions of abortion
and that's
law,
where it's going to get nasty.
As well as individuals who are trying to use science and medicine to conceive. And what about their embryos that are frozen?
Yeah, and that's where
which you and I may not directly see the impact of that, but I would assure you those individuals who are going through that.
The people who are going to lose their minds over this are going to lose their minds over this. And I took a deep dive into this right before vacation. And if you're going to have to determine, not you, but as a society, we're going to have to determine where life begins, because it's not as arbitrary as what my religion says, and it's not as arbitrary as when you exit the womb. There is life within there. Right. So we got 1 minute left. I got to ask you this question.
Sure.
6-3 decision, 6-3 decision, 6-3 decision. Are we seeing more politics coming from the Supreme Court, or has it always been this way?
It's always kind of been this way. This is the ebb and flow of the president decides who the justice is. We get what we get, and we don't throw a fit. Although now we are throwing fits, and this is the ebb and flow, right? This is when the court is packed with left-leaning justices.
Right.
We will see different decisions. Right now, the concerning thing is, well, wait a minute. I relied on this precedent, and now you're kind of you're eroding. I'll use that word again. You're eroding past decisions, which again we've already talked about. They can do, and they've said they can do it. We can do that.
Yeah.
So it's fun times. You know who the only people who are going to win out of all this?
Who?
The lawyers. It's true.
Always figure out a way. He's attorney Franz Borghardt. I appreciate you coming in, brother.
Love you guys.
We got the CBS World News Roundup coming your way right now on Talk 107.3 FM, the new flavor of talk. Oh, appreciate you, Franz. Thanks, man.
All good, man.
Yeah.
All good. 4th of July.
Yeah.
No GR tonight.
Yeah.
I've got Minions.
That was why I
Minions.
That was why I didn't leave room for the teas.
That's okay. Minions is out.
You went twice in June, right? I'm keeping for Go Rouge.
I got one.
Yeah, 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I am so cold right now. Sunburned. Yeah, I've got a full jacket upstairs.
Is there a Talk 107.3 fleece?
No.
That's necessary merch. Definitely a rain jacket.
Yeah. Did I get a text during that segment? Yes, I did. Oh, I was thinking out loud. There's a flip side to this with the coach praying at the 50-yard line, and that is, why does he go to the 50-yard line? Right.
Was it like in the pros, like after a game, players, at least the pros, they take it upon themselves, like they go to a certain place in the field and collectively those who want to go play with them.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
What up, Rich?
Look, kid, how you? Looking good, dude. Haldane, look, be careful. For our radio relationship to continue, we need to go to radio counseling together, you and I.
Why?
Well,
I thought we were good.
I did too, but I caught you.
Caught me.
You and I need to be on cheaters, radio cheaters.
What did I do?
Well, Franz was in here one day, the entire show.
Yeah.
Right. He also was in here today.
Yeah.
So last night, what makes you one of the greatest Americans I've ever met and had association with is the fact that you here on a Friday coming off of vacation. That's crazy. But anyway, so instead of calling me, because I didn't have my normal segment on Monday, not only did you give Franz an entire 3 hours, you call him first over me? Are you serious?
You're right. You're right, and I
Let me tell you
apologize.
something.
No, you're right, and I
Everybody out there
apologize.
For 35
No,
years,
you're
every
right, and I
damn thing
apologize.
I said on the radio is right. And if you can't handle it, you can't handle the truth.
Okay, the camera's there. That's the clock. That's the camera.
Look, I'm not worried about your little sissy.
Well, you pointed at the
2022
clock
radio.
like a clock did something to you.
That's your ass. I'm never bringing you a strawberry IPA.
Oh, shit.
Guys, there's nothing happening. I'm trying to find different ways to say the same thing.
This is true. I am so cold. It is. So, hey, hey, morning, Christy. Welcome in, boo. So the only problem I have with the coach praying thing is this: Matthew 6:6. But when you pray, go to the innermost room in your home, close the door, and pray to your Father in secret, because the people who pray in public don't be like the hypocrites who pray in public. They've received their reward. I'm paraphrasing. I'm Catholic. I can't quote scripture. I do. I need all the things. Yes. So Galen says, my children's coaches all prayed. I liked it. It serves as a nice balance to the competitive nature of sports. I completely agree. And it's also nice when you pray with your opponents, right? Like we just duked it out on the field. Now let's get together. But the problem comes in when you have someone who is not of the same faith. You say join us anyway, right? But now you're in. I don't know. That's where the lines get blurry, man. I don't know what to do with it. but now you're ostracized. Why isn't he praying like us? He's not like us. All right. That's yeah, but when you start singling people out for that, it changes things. .706 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Hour 2 of Mornings with Brian Haldane coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Cade Wazan producing. Thanks again to Franz Borghardt for stepping in for a bonus Legally Served. Wanted to recap a lot of, I wanted to get to more of what the Supreme Court had to say throughout the week this week because they were busy, but we kind of got stuck on one that's going to hit home every single time. And that was well, in this particular instance, it was a football coach who prays after the games. Anyway, appreciate Franz for stopping by this morning and helping out a little bit along the way. All right, we've got a busy hour this hour. We got a lot of ground to cover in our next segment. First of all, is there going to be an override session? We'll take a look at it. The governor's veto pen was very busy, as was the governor handling the veto pen. And there's a lot of ground to cover there. Also, in our next segment, there is a new head of Visit Baton Rouge. We'll talk about that as well. Later on this hour, Robbie Pickering. He is the creator of a show called Gaslit, taking a modern look at a particular end of the Watergate scandal. You'll find the show on NBC. It actually started this past week, and will continue in the weeks to come. It's a short-run series, but it's the beginning of what is to be, hopefully, a look back at a number of different installments. There should be a number of different seasons. Robbie was fantastic. I actually recorded the interview already. We'll play it back for you at 7:35. Right now, though, we start off this hour with top stories and trending. Let's go. This. New traffic monitors are popping up around Baton Rouge, making residents wonder what the innovations are bringing to the community. Quote, so what these are is they're called permanent count stations, explained Mark Armstrong from the mayor's office. You can spot one near busy intersections, businesses, and even bus stops. They're doing a traffic count in real time all the time, and they're going to be permanent. They use the radar to do that. They also have cameras that are attached to them that are going to be a live stream. They're collecting data to help the city with a very outdated problem. Quoting Armstrong again, in general, our traffic signals are very outdated in East Baton Rouge Parish. A lot of the technology is 40 years old. When this is complete, it's going to be about 2 years worth of data collection. We're going to have probably the most up-to-date traffic signals in the entire country. So if you see the new monitors out there, they're just there to get a count on what's going on at those intersections. Or so we're told. A mother's facing charges for the death of her 4-month-old daughter just under 2 weeks after the infant died. Baton Rouge Police Department said 23-year-old Kiana Thomas was booked Thursday for negligent homicide. According to arrest reports, Thomas left her daughter at her sister's home on June 17th to go out for the night. Officers said Thomas went back to her sister's house to pick up her daughter around 3 a.m. June 18th and had multiple alcoholic beverages. Thomas told officers she laid her daughter down for bed around 5 a.m. in the middle of the bed and went to sleep next to her. Documents said Thomas was woken up around noon by another family member. Thomas said she then found her daughter laying on the floor, unresponsive, face down in pillows. An autopsy revealed the child had suffocated. According to the report, Thomas told several people she was drunk when she picked up her daughter the night before and drove her home. A man suspected of killing his girlfriend, who was pregnant with his child at the time, will go to trial to face murder and feticide charges. He's also accused of killing the woman's 2-year-old son. On Thursday, A grand jury formally charged 20-year-old Brennan Murphy with the killings of Kaylin Johnson, her son Caden, and her unborn child. He faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and a charge of first-degree feticide. Murphy allegedly shot Johnson to death after getting into an argument with the 24-year-old. After the killing, police say Murphy dumped her body along Burbank Drive, tossed the 2-year-old boy over the side of a bridge along Central Thruway. Murphy was initially booked in East Baton Rouge, currently being held in the West Baton Rouge jail, where he was moved for his own safety. The last 2 years have been an emotional roller coaster for the family of 74-year-old Angela Heyman, who was gunned down outside of her home in December of 2019. Quote, "My mom's biggest fear was being preyed upon, and that's exactly how her life ended," said Becky Everton, Heyman's daughter. Heyman's killer, Xavier Cade, was 15 years old at the time of the murder. Now he's 17 years old and was sentenced Thursday morning to 25 years in prison for manslaughter as part of a plea deal. While awaiting trial, Cade did not stay out of trouble. Last October, he was caught trying to purchase a handgun with counterfeit money after allegedly disabling his ankle monitor. That same month, Cade and 4 others staged a violent escape from the Baton Rouge Juvenile Detention Center he was being held at. He was caught, taken back into custody, only to try to escape again in November. Now Cade will be locked up for good, hopefully for 25 years. Hopefully, he will be eligible for parole in 18 years with good behavior. That could be reduced even further, though. Shots were fired at a restaurant along I-12 after an irate customer picked a fight with employees over a missing order. The Baton Rouge Police Department said the shooting unfolded just before 10 p.m. Wednesday at Freddy's Frozen Custard along Millerville Road. According to police, it happened after a customer in the drive-thru line learned their order was given away to someone else by mistake. That person got into an argument with the employee, who reportedly went outside to fight the customer. Another worker had to intervene. As the employees were walking back into the restaurant, witnesses said, "Someone opened fire on the building." One person was struck by gunfire, is expected to survive. The shooter fled before police arrived. Officers have yet to identify that person. Those are your top stories. Here's a look what's trending. This morning, we extend the shark alligator rule to kangaroos. Grabbing this from our news partners at WBRZ, and it takes us up to Zachary, where a kangaroo is safe at home with its owners after hopping around East Baton Rouge Parish on Wednesday. Nope. This is not something you see every day. People who did see the kangaroo's named Baxter, by the way, say they were in disbelief. Quote, "We saw it and we were very shocked," said Braden Nelson. Braden and Ethan Nelson said they were driving down Port Hudson Pride Road around 11 o'clock Wednesday morning when they noticed something race by in a drainage ditch. The brothers said first they thought it was a dog until they realized it was on 2 legs. Baxter, the kangaroo, lives with more than a dozen parrots being taken care of by the owners of a nonprofit specializing in releasing wild birds into their natural habitat. It's called Bird Recovery International. The owners say Baxter's bird brother, Thor, recently figured out how to open the door to the enclosure. A parrot let the kangaroo loose, y'all. Baxter was spotted by law enforcement hours after Thor had released him. An East Baton Rouge sheriff's deputy was able to keep him close with peanut butter until the owners picked him up and returned him to his enclosure. I'm guessing security's... Well done, Kate. Baxter's back in his enclosure now. I got to tell you, I thought I was losing my mind when I got home and our crawfish had escaped. But apparently we got kangaroos escaping, parrots letting kangaroos out, crawfish are crawling all over the office. It's a weird week for animals, y'all. We are just in time for a holiday.
I had ants in my office this week.
Oh, no.
Little teeny ones.
Upstairs?
Yeah, very small.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, your office is right next to my office. This is going to be problematic.
The window side.
Oh, no. Those are your top stories in trending. We're going to break here in just a minute. When we come back from that break, visit Baton. Paul Arrigo's shoes are going to be attempted to be filled. We're going to talk about that next. Before we take that break, though, got to remind you about the folks over at St. James Place. You know where to find them? They're on Lee Drive just before you get to Highland. If you're headed up Lee towards Highland, look off to your right. You'll see those gates. What's beyond those gates? This isn't like your run-of-the-mill retirement home. This is not your retirement home. It's a retirement community. This isn't an old folks' home. Y'all, I got the chance to go by St. James Place a couple weeks ago, and I can tell you what's going on behind those gates is this sprawling campus, gorgeous apartments, a beautiful layout. It is an absolutely wonderful place. If you are of the age of looking to make that next step in your life, be comfortable in your golden years, if you are like of my age where your parents are getting ready for that step, consider St. James Place. Give them a call at 215-4500, 215-4500. This is not a nursing home. You don't sign over everything when you go there. You're living an active lifestyle. More affordable than you think, by the way. Living well is within your reach at St. James Place. Residents come from a wide range of professional and personal backgrounds. 215-4500 is the phone number, or visit them at stjamesplace.org, stjamesplace.org. St. James Place. Live life well. Excuse me. I got to recut the open because they're sponsoring that segment. Top stories and trending. It's no longer Complete Collision. Complete Collision decided they just wanted to do lives, which is a nice little boost to the ego. Don't sweat it. It is. We'll dive into it. Hey, so we're going to do the 7, 8, and 9 on the front end and visit Baton Rouge on the back end. Because 7, 8, 9. Got to pick it up. .718 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. So, you heard the news at the bottom of the last hour. Governor Edwards vetoing over 20 bills that were passed by state lawmakers during the recent regular session. Now the question is, you take a look at those 20-plus bills, will lawmakers convene a veto override session? House Speaker Clay Schexnayder says state law requires House and Senate members to vote not to have one. Otherwise, they're scheduled to automatically have one, which feels backwards, but that's the way it plays out. Schexnayder says ballots for that vote went out this week.
We turn to the body to make sure that we have the support there and we have those things there. And if us and the Senate are on board, then it's something that will take place.
Schexnayder says some are ready to have one after the governor ended bills that would have sent state education dollars to private or homeschooled students who read below their grade level. This was the educational savings accounts. That was an unbelievably popular bill and felt like everybody we talked to, at least, it felt like it was the right call. If the public schools are not living up to what they should be doing, you can move the student so that the student doesn't fall behind for the rest of their life. If you're not reading at a third grade level by third grade, what do they say? The definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Change what you're doing. Anyway, one of those bills was the education savings account. It barred discrimination based on one's vaccination. Another bill barred discrimination based off of a vaccination status. I have a feeling that one's not, like, that's one of those ones that's kind of a flash in the pan. Another bill stiffened penalties for killers of cops or first responders and others. Schexnayder says there's a number of there are members who are not anxious for another session.
they're not necessarily as keen on trying to go back and do a veto override. Some of them are.
Because you look at the way this year has played out. You look at the way this year has played out so far. You had to start with a special session for redistricting, right? And then the session started, regular session. They broke in the middle of the regular session to have a veto override session of the congressional map, which has caused nothing but hubbub and consternation. And then you wrap up the regular session. So when you look at our state legislators who have to go back to their districts to take care of business there, who have to go back to their districts to take care of their regular jobs, how much want is there to come back for a special session? By the way, today is July 1st. You'll have a holiday weekend, and lawmakers have to return the ballots sent to them by July 11th. Scheck-Snyder says a simple majority of members voting not to convene will cancel the override session. He says the House and Senate are also aware of the money already spent this year on legislative actions.
Look, that's a huge endeavor to go in and use taxpayer dollars and do those things to go in and not be able to accomplish our goal. But we'll look at it. We'll see what happens, and we'll see what happens with the ballots when they come in.
A lot of this has to do with the time frame with which an override would affect things. Like, take for example, the educational savings accounts, right? Are you really losing a whole lot time frame wise if you wait till next year to do this? If you look at the money transferring to charter schools from public schools, you're missing out on 1 year's worth of students. Is the motivation there to go back and override the veto? Do you have the votes to override the veto based off of that? The vaccination stuff is going to fade away. That's one of those ones. It's super hot right now and everybody's emotional about it. But in the long run, that level of heat is going to diminish quickly. By the way, Scheck-Snyder says he would prefer to have the override session, but he will abide by the will of the members. Vetoed bills can be revisited next year, and that's going to be the key to a lot of this. Of the bills that the governor has vetoed, how many of them are just going to make their way to the top of the docket for next year, to the top of the agenda for next year, which, by the way, will be the governor's last as governor. So, got till July 11th to know if we're going to have a veto override session. Honestly, based off of the way that last year played out, I'd be surprised if they did, because if you'll recall, last year there was a veto override session and nothing got done. Nothing got done. Now, that changed in the middle of the session this year when we did have a veto override session for the congressional map, and that veto was successfully overridden. But traditionally, you don't see a whole lot of motivation for these sorts of things. 724 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We're going to shift gears here in just a minute and talk a little bit about how do you fill the shoes of one Paul Arrigo. We'll dive into that in just a minute. Right now, I got to remind you, heading into the 4th of July weekend, the July 4th sales are on right now at the Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet. You know where to find them, 4065 Florida Boulevard, or the corner of Jefferson and Rouge 2. Here's what we got pricing-wise, which, oh, man, I got to tell you, spent all this week in an Airbnb in Pensacola, Florida. Got home to my bed last night. I have never felt more comfortable than when you get back to your own bed. And when that mattress comes from the Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet, it seals the deal completely. Queen name brand mattresses, normally $499, now down to $299. That's $200 off of a queen size mattress. Regular mattress, same, $200 off there as well. Normally $449, now down to $249. By the way, we're not going to keep with this rain moving forward, right? We'll see more rain this weekend and whatnot. But as the summer gets hotter and hotter, you need your mattress to be cooler. The Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet has the latest in cooling technology. The very latest in cooling technology, and it is an absolute game changer. If you tend to run hot in the bed, if you tend to sweat a little bit under the covers, hey, the cooling gel is where you need to be at. I got myself a hybrid. Christy and I, we have a hybrid. Sealy Beauty Rest Black Label. One of the many name brand mattresses that would normally be $499, now down to $299. It could be yours as well. 4065 Florida Boulevard at the corner of Jefferson and Rouge 2. And as always, drop my name. You'll get free delivery and a free pillow at either location of the Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet. They're open Monday, by the way. So 4th of July savings going on now through Monday. All right. Saw the story in The Advocate. Timothy Boone from The Advocate had the story. Jill Kidder, who has spent the past 5 years as head of Louisiana Travel Association, has been selected to take over as the head of Visit Baton Rouge. The Visit Baton Rouge Board of Commissioners unanimously selected Kidder for the job after an executive session that went on for about an hour and 45 minutes Thursday. She was one of 3 finalists for the job, along with Milton Sagara, the former head of the Coastal Mississippi Tourism Board, and Jay Tusa, currently head of Visit South Walton in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Quote, "It's just so humbling," said Kidder. "I'm honored and excited and can't wait to get started." Kidder has been with the Louisiana Travel Association for the past 15 years, spending the first 10 as co-executive director. Before that, she was executive director of the Alexandria Pineville CVB for 4 years. She earned a bachelor's in business from LSU with an emphasis on accounting and marketing. While Kidder has been head of a trade organization that represents all aspects of the tourism industry, she said the idea of promoting her hometown was appealing to her. Quote, "I feel like Baton Rouge is a place that I want to help move forward." Visit Baton Rouge, and I love talking about them because of the way they're set up. They're funded solely by the hotel-motel tax. So if they're not bringing people to town, they're not funded. If they don't hunt, they don't eat. I love that about them and the way they're run. And breaking down this pick, learning a little bit about Jill Kidder and her background with the Travel Association, Louisiana Travel Association, I feel like this is a home run. I mean, I feel like this left the yard on a straight line. Not even like a fly ball that carried over the wall. This is just a smash. Getting back to the article, part of this is keeping Visit Baton Rouge, talk about moving Baton Rouge forward. Part of this is keeping Visit Baton Rouge within the city's economic development equation. Kidder says she wants to work with other economic development agencies to help promote Baton Rouge as a place for young people to visit and live. Multifaceted, when you talk about visiting Baton Rouge, if you talk about taking the next step to say visit and stay, it's pretty remarkable. But she's coming in at a really rough time. Economically, we have Billy Nungesser on the show regularly talking about trying to recruit conventions and tourists to Louisiana overall, and he's pushing staycations. Gas prices are through the roof. You're going to hear the story from CBS in 2.5 minutes from right now about holiday travel and flight cancellations. Budgets have been cut. The economy is not where it needs to be for people to have that kind of just bonus travel dollars. Having someone who knows Baton Rouge inside and out, knows Louisiana travel inside and out, for the next 2 years especially, is going to be absolutely vital. If a company is looking at, if a business is looking, a company, a trade association, whomever, is looking at booking their next convention, Baton Rouge is prime for it because the major markets are going to be too expensive. When you look at mapping out where you're going to handle your travel, where you're going to host who's going to host your convention, you look at a place like Baton Rouge and you say, well, we can go down to New Orleans. New Orleans hotels are significantly more expensive. We can go to Vegas. We can go to Miami. We can go to any of the traditional big boys. Or we could find that market that's beneath there where you've got the Raising Cane's River Center, who's doing amazing things right now. You've got the hotel space throughout. And you've got somebody at the helm in Jill Kidder who is walking in with, first of all, coming off of Paul Arrigo is just, you're filling the shoes of a giant, to be sure. Paul has been nothing short of phenomenal for Baton Rouge. But you have an easier transition because Paul has done it for so long. You have an easier transition because Paul revolutionized what used to be the Baton Rouge Convention and Visitors Bureau, revamped it into Visit Baton Rouge, and it is what it is today largely because of Paul Arrigo. Back to the article. Visit Baton Rouge recently completed a strategic plan which calls for the agency to work closely with organizations including the Mayor's Office, the Downtown Development District, and the Baton Rouge Area Chamber to address issues facing the tourism industry. Like I said, we cover those with Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser regularly. While details of her hiring are still being worked out, Kidder plans to start working as the head of Visit Baton Rouge in August, which is when Arrigo is stepping down. Looking forward to it. This is going to be a fun time, an exciting time to see what fresh ideas can be built on top of the legacy that Paul Arrigo has already built. I'm going to have Jill on next week. Oh, we're up for news. Here's CBS. All right, do you know where the Robbie Pickering interview is? Yes, it is. All right. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Yeah. I know, I'm freezing. For Robbie Pickering. Last Friday. I got the I recorded it 9:40 a.m. on Friday, June 24th. No, it's not. It wasn't in the show. Pickering. Yeah. How long do I have here? All right, come back to me then. Delete the tweet. .38. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Oh, man, I hate to do this. But apparently we're having some audio problems with the Robbie Pickering interview. Oh, it's just frustrating. Hang on a sec. Sorry. Drop my papers. This is frustrating because we're gonna, as soon as we're able to correct the audio problems, we'll post this thing on demand and you can check it out there. Oh, man. So the show's called Gaslit. It's been on Stars. And it's on NBC now, or on NBC-owned television stations across multiple markets. And it started this week. It's an 8-part series, and it's a modern take on Watergate that focuses on the untold stories and forgotten characters of the Watergate scandal. From the description, from Nixon's bumbling and opportunistic subordinates to the deranged zealots aiding and abetting their crimes to the tragic whistleblowers who would eventually bring the whole rotten enterprise crashing down. And it's got some heavy hitters in it as well. Julia Roberts and Sean Penn playing Martha Mitchell and John Mitchell respectively. But it was a fascinating conversation with Robbie about putting this thing together right now. Putting this thing together and the comparisons or the takeaways that people have comparing it to the January 6th Commission. So hopefully we can get the audio problems corrected and get that posted up where y'all can check it out. In the meanwhile, oh man. In the meanwhile, we're heading into the 4th of July weekend. Got to ask you, what are your plans? We're heading into the 4th of July weekend, and I got to ask, do you plan on traveling? You heard the report from CBS News there. Flights are being canceled all over the place with gas prices up. People are still traveling even with gas prices up. What about you? Do you plan on traveling this 4th of July? Are the effects of the economy going to take their toll on your 4th of July plans? Do you normally travel around this time? So we were on vacation this week. We went down to Pensacola. We're coming back yesterday. I finally got a Buc-ee's experience. Not a Buc-ee's in Texas, but the one that's in Alabama. And I got to tell you, if I never go back to Buc-ee's, I'm fine. Yeah, I know. Oh, I hate saying it out loud because I realize just everybody's going to cringe when I say that. Because beaver nuggets are awesome. Because on paper, everything about Buc-ee's should be a great experience. But the one in Alabama was just so overrun. It's just so crowded. There's so many people there. And I've never been to one of the ones in Texas, so I don't have a point of reference as to is it always like that? Kate, you ever been to Buc-ee's?
Yes, in Texas and Alabama.
Okay.
Love it. And I'll tell you why. I understand that because the one we went to in Texas, we went to one actually a couple times. Went to
like Baytown?
Baytown, and then we went to one when we were on our way to the Great Wolf Lodge up in the Dallas
Oh,
area.
yeah.
And it was super crowded. But what I appreciate is that when I or my wife have to take our daughter to the restroom, those stalls are like ceiling to floor. There was sanitizer in each one. There was never a moment where it wasn't mopped and clean. And going through it, kind of the edge of the post-heavy COVID period, everything was sanitary. As many people that were running in and out of that place,
Yeah.
it felt clean. So, but on the edge of like trying to rush and get brisket or a sandwich or dried fruit or a soda, it was insane amount of people.
So that was my biggest takeaway, was the insane amount of people. And the traffic was just ridiculous. And here's the other part of this is, and you probably didn't experience this in Texas the same way you would heading to the Gulf Coast, is the number of people towing boats was just off the chain. The number of people towing boats, so that makes it further crowded. Because you don't just have, a couple hundred cars. You have cars towing boats, cars towing trailers, cars, RVs and whatnot. I mean, It was so ridiculously overrun and overcrowded. I couldn't appreciate the rest of what it has to offer. I get it. We got a bag of the beaver nuggets. We got a bag of the chocolate covered animal crackers.
Yeah.
And we did it up on the snacks. Oh, there's gonna be a comeuppance at Go Slim next Friday. I'm not even going there today. My next weigh-in is gonna.
On our last trip back from Disney that we took in February, we waited until we got to that Buc-ee's,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of just stopping somewhere to get a lunch and having to get out, we just stopped at the Buc-ee's, grabbed like a turkey sandwich, a bag of potato chips, and shared it, and it worked out. And the crazy thing about that place, like you're saying, if you're going when they've got a lot of boats and RVs, there is tons of pumps, but now you've got people trying to maneuver with bigger vehicles. It seems aggravating. You're on a little more edge.
Right.
But then again, you could buy the barbecue pit, the ice chest, the lawn chair, the T-shirt, the shorts, the wind chime, and everything you need for your trip.
So, yes, and that's the thing, though. Like, I'm not going to let my anecdotal experience affect my belief in what everybody else says about it, if that makes sense. I've been there twice now, once on the way in, once on the way out. Going down to Pensacola and then on the way back, because it's at the exit you get off at to wind yourself through all the highways to get you up to the beach, right?
Right.
So, and I realized that on the way out, it's the Thursday before 4th of July. How many people were already clocked out, making a 3-day weekend into a 5-day weekend? You cash in 2 vacation days and you have 5 days, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going down to the beach for the weekend. So I realized it was going to be overcrowded.
Yeah.
Whew, I didn't think it was going to be that bad, though, man. I've been able to get out of the Superdome in less time than we got in and out of Buc-ee's.
Did you stop at Lambert's, get you a throwed?
You know what? Keep the Lamberts.
Keep the Lamberts?
Keep the if I wanted somebody...
Talk about a busy place. That's a busy place.
If I wanted someone to throw food at me, Christy and I would have another baby. Home of the throw rolls. We'll fling a biscuit at your head. Oh, you know what we did do while we were down there? We saw the Pensacola Blue Wahoos take on the Montgomery Biscuits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Montgomery Biscuits put it on them, by the way. I mean, it was we left in the bottom of the 8th, and it was 10-5. Biscuits. take a look at that Montgomery Biscuits mascot. That's what could have been with New Orleans, and instead they went for baby cakes.
I have to check this out because I'm picturing a Popeye's biscuit with head and feet.
Okay. It does. It's got the eyeballs on top, like Google eyes on top.
Right.
You take the biscuit, you peel it back like you're opening it.
Like the hamburger, the old hamburger thing from McDonald's. When it was
A little bit, yes. But you peel it back a little bit, and a pat of butter is the tongue.
Oh.
Google it, man. Google the Montgomery Biscuits mascot. It is, of minor league baseball mascots, it's top 5. Easy. Love me some Montgomery Biscuits mascot. And the Blue Wahoos game was fantastic. It is everything that AA baseball was supposed to be. That was so good. Kane just gasped. All right, I don't know if that was audible on air, but as soon as you got to look at the Biscuits mascot, is that not perfection? Oh, we don't have it up yet. But everything minor league baseball is supposed to be with the Blue Wahoos game. I mean, they had something called a roach run. Into the 6th inning, all the kids get to go participate, and you chase a roach. Presented by XYZ Exterminator. I don't remember the name of it.
I had friends in high school that did that.
They got a guy who puts on a roach costume, and he runs from the right field line across the outfield to the left field line, basically bullpen to bullpen, and all the kids chase him. And he's like got the GoPro, and he's up on the big screen. Oh, it's everything minor league baseball is supposed to be. But I digress. Stepping away from Buc-ee's, getting back to your 4th of July travel plans. And if you're not traveling, staying home, are you doing the cookout thing? Because you heard the story in our news broadcast, in our newscast a couple minutes ago. Cooking for the 4th of July is going to cost more this year. Avery Davidson with the Farm Bureau says that in the Southeast, the average price of a cookout for 10 people is going to be $64.31. That's just under $7 a head. But it's up more than 17% from last year. The meat is the biggest problem. The beef itself up 36% from last year. You got supply chain issues, you got employment issues, you've got overall inflationary issues causing all these things. And I'm just trying to put this in contrast to last year when the Thursday before the 4th of July last year, the Biden administration was touting that the cost of a 4th of July cookout was down 16 cents from the year before. We're bragging on a drop of 16 cents from 2020 to 2021. The White House, they actually tweeted this about the price decreases in foods, highlighting that the cost of a 13-ounce bag of potato chips dropped by 1%. Also bragged on the price of hot dogs being down. Well, that's coming back to haunt them this year as we're looking at an increase of 17%. So let us know on YouTube, how is this going to affect between the cost of travel and the cost of food? How does it affect your holiday plans? Cade's got the mascot up on the screen.
So there was a different one. There was like an animated version.
The animated version is the one that's the winner right there. That's Mo, the anteater.
Okay.
The anteater who actually eats biscuits, not ants.
Good for him.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, if I can get a job eating biscuits, I'm taking that job eating biscuits. Make no bones about that.
Yeah, I thought for some reason the animated one was that seemed like the one you were describing. So I didn't know if that guy came out in the game too or not.
So no, well, it was a road game, so I don't think AA teams have the budget to take their mascots on the road. Yeah. We got to see Kazoo, the Blue Wahoo. Oh, we're due up for money. Here's your money now. Is there any luck finding it?
I don't know where I put it, and I looked up his name, and I'm like, how did I not? Because it was a good interview too. So now I'm like,
yeah.
I effed up big time. But I don't know how I didn't save it.
Well, yeah. It was a week ago. It's all right. Can you delete comments from that side? Do y'all know how to do that? There's some run of spam for about 6 comments. I know. Yeah. All right, so Bradley McWillie says, do you ever take your family to the Rougarou games? Yes, absolutely. Do I? That's fine. No, they're still there. Yes, love the Rougarou games. They're fantastic. And Bradley, we haven't been out this year yet. We normally go to 3 or 4. It's just 3 kids doing everything. There's a lot going on the schedule. But I'm looking forward to getting out there. Ronnie was telling me about they got the cool box or whatever they're calling it. Thank you. Yeah, it's showing. It's hidden. Oh, and don't forget about this day in history. Okay. Ah, shoot. I ruined that. What? What? Uh-huh. And you think you deleted it? It's all right. 7:55 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Foodie Friday coming up a little more than half an hour from right now. The folks from the Pie-Eyed Food Truck over there at Chien Brewing out in Denham Springs going to be making a beef pie, meat pie. Gotta love that. Also next hour, let's talk about the business of entertainment and its effects on Baton Rouge's economy. Jake Polansky is going to join us at 8:15. We will also have This Day in History coming up in our next hour. Right now, though, we step outside of East Baton Rouge Parish with a segment we call The Outside In. Let's roll. Well, we're going to start off in Livingston Parish, where they're going to have a new chief of police in Denham Springs. New chief of police expected to be Sergeant Rodney Walker. Quote, he's probably one of the most qualified candidates I've ever interviewed, said Denham Springs Mayor Gerald Landry. Walker's been on the force for 22 years. The mayor says he knows the community like the back of his hand. Walker says he won't let Denham's proximity to Baton Rouge and the crime problem spill into his own town. Said his department will be community-oriented and transparent. Mayor Landry says just about every officer supports the promotion of Walker. Even though the mayor doesn't expect any major changes, he does want some new ideas from the new chief. Next up, Ascension Parish. An upscale Gonzales apartment complex has been sold to a California real estate investment firm for just under $77 million, making it one of the most expensive local multifamily housing deals ever. According to Timothy Boone from The Advocate, Starboard Realty Advisors of Irvine, California, bought the Silver Oaks apartments in a deal that closed in May. That seller is the Stoa Group, the Hammond-based developer of Silver Oaks. Silver Oaks is a 336-unit apartment complex on Airline Highway. It opened back in 2018. Units rent from $1,400 for a one-bedroom, one-bath, 752 square foot, to up to $1,787 for a three-bedroom. The sale comes in at roughly $228,000 per unit. Heading down to St. Bernard Parish, a man stole a car with a baby inside, then deserted the child on the side of a New Orleans road. According to the St. Bernard Parish Sheriff's Office, 21-year-old Jonathan Perkins stole a car around 11 a.m. Wednesday that was sitting outside of a Chalmette business. Perkins took off with the baby inside. Deputies found the child unharmed on the side of the road on the Almonaster Boulevard overpass in New Orleans. Deputies later found the car abandoned but still running near Desire Street. Perkins was arrested Thursday afternoon, booked for theft of a motor vehicle, second-degree kidnapping, child desertion, and illegal possession of stolen property. Let's go ahead and close out in Red River Parish. An artificial reef has been established in the Grand Bayou Reservoir with the hope of providing new habitats for deep-water fish. Department of Wildlife and Fisheries announced Thursday morning the reef is composed of 9 different structures made of concrete, recycled gas pipe, and sweet gum trees. The trees, Department of Wildlife and Fisheries says, will attract fish and promote algae growth, while the plastic will maintain the structure for a long time. Louisiana's Department of Wildlife and Fisheries hopes this artificial reef will help promote the habitat growth and offer new fishing opportunities for anglers. That is the outside in. We are due up for CBS News here in just a little bit. Coming up after the news, we will check in with This Day in History. Cade Wassan will have This Day in History. Also coming up next hour, let's take a look at the entertainment economy. Jake Polanski is going to join us to talk a little bit about a decade's worth of data that's under our belts already, showing that Baton Rouge is a growing hub for employment in the creative fields. We dive into this quite frequently around here, talking film, talking entertainment. Well, from 2019 through 2021, through the pandemic, we've not only survived but thrived. Coming out of the other side of the pandemic, it's getting even stronger. So we'll take a look at that next hour. Right now, here's CBS News on Talk 107.3 FM, the new flavor of talk in Baton Rouge. So, of course, we would lose an interview today, right? Brooke says, I worked for the Biscuits. Our mascot is badass. Damn right it is. All right, new poll question for this hour. Best minor league stadium out there. Is that Round Rock? I think I got to clarify, though, between, like, single A, double A, and triple A. This Pensacola Stadium, oh, my God. What you don't see in the picture is what's behind the right field wall. The Gulf of Mexico. Yeah. Not a one. She participated in the Rouge run. It's look, if you could sell it to a sponsor. Yeah, I like it. .806. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way. All right, I got to move y'all over to the YouTube audience here because I took in a minor league baseball game on vacation in Pensacola, and the stadium was just absolutely killer. So sound off on YouTube. Mornings with Brian Haldane on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe while you're there. Best minor league baseball stadium out there is, and then fill in the blank. I remember, like, when we had the Zephyrs, baby cakes. When we had the Zephyrs down in New Orleans, I liked Zephyr Stadium a lot. Liked it a lot. I liked the stage that would, was behind the left field wall that would roll out for the post game concerts. But it was just a baseball stadium. You got baseball. You got minor league parks with lazy rivers in the outfield. You got minor league parks with this one in Pensacola is just next level. I mean, it's a double A ballpark, right? So you're not expecting a whole lot of seating. You're not gonna, you're not getting 20,000 people out there or whatever, 10,000 people out there. But beyond the right field, behind the right field wall is the Winn-Dixie Party Deck. Behind the Winn-Dixie Party Deck is literally the Gulf of Mexico. You're right on the waterfront, and I got to tell you, it makes a huge difference in the middle of the summer when that cool breeze is coming in off the Gulf. Although I got to wonder what that does to a left-handed hitter's power to right field if the breeze is always coming in off the Gulf. No, we saw 2 home runs both to right in Tuesday night's game. But what's your best minor league baseball experience? Let us know over on the YouTube channel. Mornings with Brian Haldane, and subscribe while you're there. We got a busy hour coming your way this hour. We're going to talk about the growing entertainment economy in Baton Rouge in our next segment. And we're going to have some meat pies later on in our Foodie Friday segment presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, which, by the way, beefitswhatsfordinner.com is the website. Check it out. We're heading into the 4th of July weekend. No better time than this weekend than to fire up the grill. And it doesn't have to wait until the 4th. You can start the day. Fire up the grill. Throw you some meat on the grill. Enjoy the protein, the iron, the vitamins and nutrients that beef provides. Learn more at beefit'swhatsfordinner.com. The Louisiana Beef Industry Council brings you Foodie Friday every Friday from Memorial Day through Labor Day, the unofficial grilling season. All right, right now is the part of the show where we take you back in time. Right now is when Cade Wassan has this day in history. What do you got, Cade?
All right, Brian, let's start back in 1863. This place better known for its address. The Battle of Gettysburg begins.
Not a physical street address.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. One of the largest military conflicts in North American history. July 1st, 1863. Union forces collide. Union and Confederate forces collide over in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. 3 days of fighting.
Yeah. Who can fight for 3 days? I mean, that's, I don't know. In the span of battles like that, you think about that though. Like at a certain point, they just call it a day. It's like we're gonna go back to our respective camps. We'll come back tomorrow, duke it out again, shooting at each other again.
Car.
Game on.
Yeah, game on. 1867, this day in history, Canada Day.
I saw that.
Canada Day, eh?
Eh?
Yeah. I really don't know what's a boot. There's more coming. Don't worry. 1942, the last Ford Thunderbird was produced. My grandmother had a Thunderbird, and I rode every day in that thing. I felt like I was Jimmy from Goodfellas riding to the store in that thing.
Right?
I mean, such a tank.
I mean, but 1942 was the last?
That's what it said.
That seems like a long time ago.
It was last week it was produced, so maybe they were sold. It
does
seem odd, though.
It does.
I'll cite the
like, I remember the Thunderbird. It's like, am I that old that I remember the Thunderbird?
Maybe it's different than the T-Bird, but I thought that was a Thunderbird. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Not a car guy.
All right. Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Don't drive like my brother. 1984, PG-13.
I caught that. I caught that one. Don't drive like my... I caught it.
Yeah?
Try to sneak that one in. I get you.
1984, PG-13 rating debuts. So, Motion Picture Association oversees all the ratings. They had G, they had M, they had R, they had X. They needed something that maybe was somewhere in the...
I like the PG-13 rating. Yeah. I've got a 14-year-old daughter. I like the PG-13 rating.
You know what the first one was?
No.
84, Red Dawn.
Red Dawn was PG-13?
Swayze, Chien.
Wow. That seems so heavy for a PG-13.
First ever PG-13 movie to be released in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that to me it felt like a benchmark in your youth. Like, I can go see a PG-13 movie.
Right.
There's some big stuff ahead. 1997, Hong Kong returned to China. Hong Kong reverts back to Chinese rule in a ceremony attended by British Prime Minister Tony Blair and other dignitaries. But I'm just for the sake of being respectful, I'm not going to try to pronounce the name. But Hong Kong returned to China in 1997.
Good.
Celebrity birthdays.
Whoa. We got
celebrity deaths, rather.
No. You birthdays are next, but we got a couple more events that happened on this day in history.
Okay.
Hey, Alondra, can you grab the hotline? Couple more events that happened on this day in history.
Yep.
This day in 1974, NFL players went on strike for 41 days, challenging the Rozelle rule.
Oh.
Yeah. That would eventually lead to a new collective bargaining agreement, but that wasn't until 3 years later that the collective bargaining agreement went into place. This day in 1982, Cal Ripken Jr. started his streak.
Wow.
Yeah.
That lasted a while.
This day in 1979, Sony began selling the Walkman.
It's a long time that I have clothes on.
What?
Wait.
No, not streak.
Oh.
He wasn't streaking like Frank the Tank. This
Fair
was
enough. My bad.
Consecutive Major League Baseball starts at shortstop for the Baltimore Orioles. This day in 1979, Sony began selling the Walkman. So if the Thunderbird didn't make you feel old, that should. Yeah. And this day in 1987, and you, as the program director of 104.5 ESPN, you ought to have this one. This day in 1987, You know what happened?
It's got to be baseball related.
It is sports related for sure.
Okay.
On this day in 1987, WFAN AM commences the first 24-hour all sports radio format. Sports Talk.
Mike and the Mad Dog?
I believe so. Nah, it was probably before his time.
Going at you as hard as they can. Happy birthday to Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. She's 50.
Yep.
Pam Anderson's 54.
Yep.
Liv Tyler, 44. I don't know where she's been. Dan Aykroyd, 69 years old today.
Wow. All right.
And a celebrity death in the late Princess Diana birthday.
Wait, did Princess Diana die on this day, or was she born on this day?
It listed as born on this day.
Yeah. Yeah. Princess Diana, born July 1st, 1961, died on August 31st, 1997.
Oy.
Yeah. Also, Carl Lewis's birthday today, which, considering the 4th of July coming up Monday, I don't think we're going to have him sing the national anthem.
National Handshake Day, National Social Media Day, National Meteor Watch Day.
Marlon Brando died on this day in 2004. And it is Bobby Bonilla Day. Never forget, it's Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yeah.
Yes! July 1st every year, the Mets shell out $1.19 million to Bobby Bonilla. I want to say there's 5 years left on that, 6 years left on that.
Still, huh?
I don't know. It's supposed to be over before 2030. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. The deal expires in 2035. Beautiful. And that's this day. There you go. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about the entertainment economy. Jake Polansky joins us next. All right. What up, Taylor? Yeah, I hope so. 818 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Love talking BR by the numbers. I love getting down into the nitty-gritty of what's going on in and around Baton Rouge on the economic front. Joining us now to talk about Red Stick's growing entertainment economy is Jake Polansky from the Baton Rouge Area Chamber. Jake, welcome back to Talk 107.3. How are you, man?
Hey, Brian, I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing very well. Glad to have you on board. Glad to be talking about this because I was reading the article or the press release wouldn't this come out earlier this week, actually, and was just shocked that not only what we're doing, but when we're doing it is kind of amazing. So let's start with the breakdown of what we've seen from 2019 through now in the entertainment sector in Baton Rouge.
Sure, and you hit on a key point that I'll get to later. But so what we did at the Chamber is we wanted to see which occupation groups we saw grow the most through the pandemic. So we looked at 2019 through 2021. And when we ran those numbers, we were kind of surprised, but happy to see that the occupation group that grew the most was the arts, design, entertainment, sports, and media occupation group. And that group of occupations grew at a rate of 18% over those 2 years. And the context of those years is really important because, like I said, we grew at 18%, and that's through the pandemic. If you look at U.S. numbers throughout the same time frame, across the nation, these occupations fell by about 10%. And if you look at statewide numbers, they fell by about 1%. And again, we grew 18%. So this is a great sign for our entertainment economy, and it's a good sign for our local economy, absolutely.
So, yeah, let's talk about that. The win is super important because when you talk about the entertainment economy, and we've talked with Aaron Bayham from Celtic and through a number of different folks from Baton Rouge Film Commission, and when I think entertainment economy, I'm thinking you're either talking about creative arts on a TV and film level, or if you're thinking entertainment, you're thinking of something you have to be at a venue for. That obviously was off the table. So how did we do what we did?
Sure, and this occupation group, it's wide-ranging. So it includes those things that you're talking about. It includes a lot of occupations that work on, like you said, film sets and artists and things like that, performers. But it also includes kind of a whole separate group of occupations that are related but different. And these are going to fall into things like commercial and industrial designers, public relations specialists, graphic and interior designers. So the fact that we are increasing our numbers in this occupation group across so many diverse occupations shows that our economy is really firing on all cylinders right now. And it's not just these kind of performers and entertainers that you think of with this top-line occupation group.
How did y'all come up with the classification? Because if you say interior designer and entertainment economy, how do you get from point A to point B to make that designation?
Sure. So these occupation groups are classified by the Standard Occupational Classification System. It's what's used by the Bureau of Labor Statistics to organize employment across a bunch of different occupations. So this was the occupation group, the one that we're talking about, that we grew the most in over those 2 years. We grew 18%. But there are other occupation groups as well that we grew in quite significantly. For example, in healthcare-related occupations, we grew 15%. In management occupations, I think it was about 13%. So this shows that it's not just entertainment, too. We are also growing in employment in a lot of other areas, too.
Now, the Baton Rouge Area Chamber has made a concerted effort to attack the entertainment economy specifically. We've seen the film tax credit around for a while and for quite some time. I don't know that we were taking our full advantage of it when it comes to utilizing it to employ Baton Rougeans. That has shifted, has it not?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely shifted. And what's important about these data is these are payroll data. So these are employees who are counted on a payroll, and they're not considered self-employed persons. So we may also have seen a growth in self-employed arts, design, entertainment, sports, and media, employees. But like you just pointed out, it's really important that these 18% growth, these are for payroll occupations, which is good.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. That is a lot more than just the food truck that shows up on the film set or the stepping outside of that. Well, it was so hard during the pandemic to pinpoint what was going to move forward, what was going to thrive. Moving forward from the pandemic, how do we keep our foot on the gas with this?
Sure. So I think it's important that we make sure that these data are publicized and that people know that numbers in these occupations are increasing. Because this occupation or these growing numbers really touch a couple different things. In one regard, they really help us make the case for young professionals to both move here and for those already here to stay here. Because as we know, young professionals increasingly desire robust, diverse recreation and entertainment options. So if we can show them, hey, look at these data, you have entertainment options in your backyard. You can get everything that you need right here in Baton Rouge. That's going to help us make the case to these young professionals. So making the case to young professionals is one big part of this. And another big part of this is helping make sure that businesses and senior managers across the region also see these data and understand them. A lot of these occupations that I mentioned earlier, things like graphic designers, industrial designers, things like that, those are very unique skill sets that are in demand by businesses across the country and across the metro. So if we can show that if we can show these businesses that we have these occupations here, and we don't only have them, but we're also increasing their numbers and increasing the talent pool available to these businesses, then we think that's going to help us make the business case as well.
When you use a term like entertainment, you risk muddying the waters between necessity and luxury. How do you make the entertainment sector translate to something that would garner the level of, because they're jobs. At the end of the day, they're jobs. They're people who can pay their mortgages, pay their car notes, and reside here. How do you make that translate for not just recruiting a younger workforce, but to those of us who are already here and make sure we understand that, like, the traditional sectors of work that we've seen in Baton Rouge, this can become the bread and butter of what not the bread and butter, but a viable chunk of what we do.
Absolutely. Any healthy local economy needs a diverse set of occupations and a diverse set of industries in that economy if it wants to make sure that it's going to stay healthy for the long term. Mm-hmm. So, this definitely isn't one of our major industries at the moment, but we are increasing in numbers. So if we can continue to increase these numbers and diversify our industry base in general, then that's going to be good for everybody in Baton Rouge, whether or not you want to go see a show, whether or not you work in these types of industries. It's really going to be helpful to everybody here.
How do we go about recruiting on this? How do we go about attracting the soon-to-be college graduates and young professionals?
Sure. So BRAC has been working in a couple different places in this space. We recently partnered with Forum 225 when we released our new 5-year strategic plan to help better connect businesses and local young professionals throughout the capital region to make sure that our local young professionals are building their networks and expanding their networks. So BRAC is going to continue to work on that. And I guess in a more general sense, young professionals and non-young professionals alike share a lot of the same issues. Traffic, for example, being a big one, and that's why BRAC pushed so hard during this most recent legislative session on securing funding for the new Mississippi River Bridge. Because if we can kind of reduce some of these traffic woes that a lot of us face in Baton Rouge on a daily basis, that's going to help everybody, young professionals and non-young professionals alike.
We're talking with Jake Polansky from the Baton Rouge Area Chamber about the growing entertainment economy. Jake, before I get you out of here, and I greatly appreciate a couple minutes of your time this morning, before I get you out of here, though, want to ask you about the long term of this. And yes, you mentioned traffic, quality of life, the things that other young professionals are looking for. Is there a way to we've seen our trips to other cities in the past bring home valuable information as to where our city should be headed. Is there a way to do this that's industry specific like this?
Industry specific. What do you mean by that exactly?
Within the entertainment economy, how do you do side-by-side comparisons for other markets to Baton Rouge's to know what we can and can't replicate? Because we're unique at the end of the day. How do you capture? How do you capture what somebody else is doing and make it our own?
I hear you. We definitely are unique at the end of the day. I definitely hear you on that. I think it just comes down to getting a critical mass of people in this space to come here and realize that Baton Rouge is a growing hub for creative occupations and the creative industry in general. So if we can just continue to market our metro and show them that we have creative people here who are doing really cool creative things, that they have the opportunity to join in on that, as long as they're willing to make it happen.
What's next for Baton Rouge by the numbers? Because I'm digging this stuff, man. When we get inside these metrics and start to learn what's really going on behind the scenes, what's up next for y'all?
Yeah, so Baton Rouge by the numbers. If your listeners aren't familiar with it, we cover a lot of great things in our research blog. It covers everything from migration to inflation to, like we've been talking about today, the entertainment economy. We're thinking about putting out some reports on more migration reports more reports kind of catching people up on what's going on in the economy with inflation, things like that. So we're really looking forward to what we're going to release in the future.
He is Jake Polansky from the Baton Rouge Area Chamber. I always appreciate the time, man. Good stuff.
Thanks, Brian. Enjoy your weekend.
You do the same. Have a happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day coming up on Monday. Going back to the press release, just to kind of reset from the start of this, Baton Rouge entertainment economy is booming. From 2019 through 2021, employment in arts, design, entertainment, sports, and media occupations shot up 18%. Any kind of growth during the pandemic is remarkable. That, to be fair, 2019 would ramp up the year before the pandemic really kicked in. But 2019 through 2021 includes the pandemic. So if you had the jump before the pandemic hit, it stabilized through the pandemic. Being able to show growth in any sector at all, especially a sector that wasn't the meat and potatoes beforehand. So how do you make it the meat and potatoes during? And how do you extend that beyond? And yes, I tend to fixate on the film business when it comes to the entertainment economy, because we're positioned right now to just explode with the amount of work that's available out there. But it's so much more than that. I appreciate Jake's time. Always good stuff coming from the Baton Rouge Area Chamber. And the BR by the numbers stuff, every time I get a chance to sink my teeth into that, I'm totally going to. All right, we got about a minute till we hit news here at the bottom of the hour. After news, traffic, and weather, it'll be time for Foodie Friday. We are going to be talking with the folks from the Pie-Eyed Food Truck. You'll find them at the at Chien Brewing out in Denham Springs. Getting a little tongue-tied this late in the show. Chien Brewing out in Denham Springs. We're talking about beef, baby, as we do every single week here on Foodie Friday, because it's presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Yes, it's grilling season. Yes, we talk about a lot more than just grilling. Beef coming your way in just a little bit. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll check news. We'll check your traffic. We'll check your weather. Alondra will have your traffic. As heading into the holiday weekend, been relatively light so far. So sound off on our YouTube page. It's Mornings with Brian Haldane on YouTube, taking your feedback on a number of different things, not the least of which is, are you traveling this weekend? Or has the economy been such that is going to put the brakes on you? Pun intended. We'll dive in next. Foodie Friday, presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, coming your way next, right here on Talk 107.3 FM, the new flavor of talk. My clock froze. I apologize. I was not able to see if that was... It's been a disaster show. I'm not doing good today. I'm just off my game. My table has just. You got okay. You got relative. Just pop it right there. We'll show everything off to the camera in a little bit. Okay. All right. So, Ryan, what's your last name?
Dunham. Dunham.
Okay. I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
Chuck had let me know. I was out of town all week, so
okay.
Chuck kind of handled things for me this week.
Excellent.
So, Chien Brewing. I have to go out there. How awesome!
You need to come.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's the only place really to get entertainment in Denham Springs. So
okay.
Yeah, we're doing a big old bash this Saturday for July 4th. We got a hot dog eating contest between the Denham Springs Police Department and the Fire Department. Yeah, we have a Dunkin' Brew booth with a Catholic priest in it.
Oh, good. Wait, who?
Father Matt
Graham.
Graham, yes.
No way.
Yeah. How do you know him?
He used to be at Mercy.
Okay. I used to work at Avondale, Camp Avondale, the Boy Scout camp.
Yeah.
And he was the chaplain there when I worked there. Yeah.
He's the best. I love him.
And he's always known. He was like, yeah, I'm going to be a Catholic priest. I'm like, okay, yeah, you'll change your mind one day and whatever. And then he popped up 20 years later, and I'm like, what? You made it. Yeah, so we're officially a restaurant, so we always have to sell food when alcohol is sold.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got a food truck, and we do breakfast in the mornings. And
I'll tell you what, it's just the two of us. Let's sit down.
Yeah.
Normally I'll haul the chairs out because I'll bring in a table and we'll spread everything out and whatnot. But this is nice. What are we eating today?
I brought the cheeseburger hand pie.
Cheeseburger hand pie. Ooh.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but it's a cool place. Giant patio outside. It was an old oil change place that we converted. So,
Okay.
So there's a 500 square feet pit underneath.
Yeah.
And that's where we have all of our beer vessels and everything. And you can stand at the bar and you're on top of this grating and you can look down and see all the tanks underneath you.
Wait a minute. I have been to y'all's place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we did a. What was the thing?
Was it the true crime?
No. This was the. It was the end of. Was it the Real Men Wear Pink?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we were in the
with,
back by like. Y'all have entertainment going on over here, and we were off to the side over on the other side. Oh my goodness! Yeah, I remember these pies.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable.
Excellent, man.
This was more than a year ago.
Yeah.
So now that I'm seeing the pictures,
God, what's her name? There's a lady that heads up the whole thing. I used to work with her, and her husband, who's a lawyer here in town.
yes,
I forget.
I'm not gonna remember it now. I'm not gonna bring it up on here. Oh, by the way, we're gonna be on YouTube as well.
Okay.
So come on. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Well, that's a terrible write-up. Nope, that's not it either.
Are you looking for the Chien info? Or?
No. They right up on the. Real men, yeah. That's the guy.
I know her.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank though.
I know, same. There's Mike Kimball and Jody Hammett. Mike and Molly Kimball and Jody and Angela Hammett. They were. This was the kickoff event at Radio Bar, not the event that closed it out at Shaw's place.
It's great y'all came by though.
Yeah, it was awesome. It is time for Foodie Friday, presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. We do this every Friday throughout the summertime. It's traditionally grilling season, although you can probably grill anytime in Louisiana. Now, while we do this during grilling season, it's not always about firing up the grill. Sometimes we step away from the grill because there are so many different ways to incorporate meat into beef into what we're doing. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com is the website. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. If you want cooking tips, if you want recipes, if you want to supply some cooking tips, contribute some cooking tips, you can do that too. If you got your own family recipe that you want to share, BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. While you're there, you can learn about the vitamins, nutrients, protein, iron, everything that's in beef and why it's important and essential for every stage of your life. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. The Louisiana Beef Industry Council brings you Foodie Friday, and that's what we're doing right now. Time to welcome in Ryan Dunham from Chien Brewing out in Denham Springs. Ryan, welcome aboard. How are you, man?
Hey, doing fine. How are you doing?
Doing very well. Let's get that where we can just talk naturally and don't need you to have to lean in. All right, so we're going to talk meat in a little while, as we're going to get a cheeseburger hand pie for us, I understand.
Cheeseburger hand pies.
Awesome.
Delicious.
Yes. So, okay, as we were talking, I didn't even realize I've been to your place before. I've been out to Chien before. Fantastic establishment. Let's talk a little bit about the establishment itself before we get into the meat of what we're doing. Pun very much intended.
What you want to know?
I want to know, how did y'all get started, the location, what went into, because normally when you go to a local brewery, the layout is a lot different than what y'all have. Y'all have something that's unique.
Yes, we're trying to create an experience. We want people to come out, enjoy themselves. A lot of breweries are focused on manufacturing. Mm-hmm. We're actually permitted to only sell alcohol on site.
Okay.
So we like to bring people out, create a casual atmosphere, have them enjoy themselves. And it's wonderful. We're family friendly. We're dog friendly. So you see,
hence the name.
Yeah. Yeah, so you see people come out, they sit down, and they put down their phones, they enjoy each other, and it's really a unique thing.
It is, and the layout is different. You were telling me about this during the break. The building that you're in was originally something else.
Yes, it was a old oil change place. So actually the whole story started with my brother. He was a home brewer. He got really into brewing. He went to all the festivals. He perfected his techniques, and him and my dad decided, hey, let's start a brewery. And they looked around for many years. I jumped aboard. I wanted to do the food at the brewery. And yeah, we found a place in Denham Springs. The mayor helped us a lot. And it was an old oil change facility. Mm-hmm. So it's got a 500 square feet pit underneath it. And that's where we keep all of our brewing vessels and everything. And it's really neat. You can stand at the bar and you can look underneath you. There's a grating that you stand on, and you can see all the tanks illuminated underneath where you're standing.
It's actually pretty cool. I've been there before, and it's a very cool way to lay things out. Because normally when you go to a place like, like let's say Tenra is probably the closest one to us. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, off to the side, but it's all like right in front of you. This is like, there's a whole, I don't want to say like a whole Walter White vibe, but it's definitely that it's kind of the fact that it's down below, the fact that you're not walking through it. It doesn't get in the way of it being just an enjoyable venue.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that's not the first time I've heard the Walter White.
Thing, nice. Run with that. Yes.
Yeah. We're not trying to promote any of that.
No.
But yeah, it's neat. It's unique, and also we have a giant patio. I think we have the biggest patio around Baton Rouge. I'm not certain on that, but it's huge.
So when it comes to outdoor entertainment, having a patio that is viable and remains cool is essential,
Yeah,
so the way y'all have things set up works both of those angles.
Yes. So actually we just added a big pavilion in the back, and we've got a giant fan underneath the pavilion. We're about to add a misting system. So we're seeing more people come out this summer than we had last summer. People are recognizing that we're trying to be accommodating outside.
How long have y'all been around? When did y'all first open up?
We opened up in October 31st, 2020, Halloween.
October 31st of 2020. So
right in the middle of COVID.
Right in the middle of COVID, yeah. You opened up a location that or you opened up a business that requires people to come out, requires people to intermingle with other people. But we're going to go back to that patio thing. It was the right time to have an outdoor venue.
Yeah, so we made our own picnic tables outside. So what we did is we just spread them apart, and people could be amongst people, but they could also have their own space in their own private area. So people really enjoyed that. And remember, bars at the time, they couldn't have live music.
Right.
So we're officially a restaurant, so we had live music, and we really provided something at the time that nowhere else was providing.
So I've been out to the establishment for different kind of events, like hosted parties and whatnot, and that's how I've gotten familiar with it. But you don't have to be a scheduled event; just go out and enjoy.
No, just come on by. We're open Wednesday through Saturday. Saturday we're open all day. We have live music every Friday and Saturday at 6 o'clock.
You were telling me in the break about the event y'all got going on this weekend. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we're doing a giant July 4th blowout on Saturday. We're going to have a hot dog eating contest between the Denham Springs Police Department and the Denham Springs Fire Department. The mayor's going to MC it.
Very nice.
We're going to have Miss Louisiana out there. We're going to have splash pads for kids on the grass. We're going to have hot dogs and beer steamed brats available.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a fun time for everyone.
And I understand a special guest in the dunking booth as well.
Yes, Father Matt Graham.
Very nice. Oh, see,
yes.
Now you're talking my language.
If you've
Love
ever
me some
wanted
Father
to dunk
Matthew.
a priest.
So Father Matthew was at Mercy for a while before he's moved around a little bit, but made his home in Denham Springs now recently, and he is absolutely phenomenal. I might have to dunk him.
Very great guy and a great sport, of course.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Father Matthew in a Dunkin' booth. I'm looking forward to that. PD versus Fire Department. Let's talk about this a little bit. What got this started?
We did it last year. We just really want to be community oriented. We want to do anything that we can to involve the officials and whoever wants to be part of it. And we thought, what better way of involving these guys? And it's funny, I see them around town all the time. They talk about how hyped they are. They're training for this thing, and
I don't want to know how you train for a hot dog eating contest. I would imagine just eating a lot of hot dogs.
Yeah.
And it's, break away and
But I gotta tell you, nobody beat Brenner, our bar back at the brewery. He ate 12 hot dogs last year, and if anybody wants to come out and compete against Brenner, you're welcome to.
So we've got a guy upstairs. He's on air right now, so we can't check in with him. But T-Bob Hebert has competed in a pizza eating contest out by Fat Boys Pizza.
Okay.
Was for one of the LSU games. We might have to see about this. We might have to see if we can get a little cross promotion going on here.
Bring them on.
So this is the first ever. This is an inaugural police versus fire.
This is the second year that we've done it. So
who won last year?
Last year was the fire department.
All right.
So the police department's got a little slack.
Looking for a little bit of revenge.
Yeah.
A little chip on the shoulder there. We're talking with Ryan Dunham from Chien Brewing, and this is you are a restaurant, so you've got the pie-eyed food truck going on.
Yes, and we're always there on site.
Pie-eyed food truck, what made you want to go that route versus having a traditional restaurant kitchen type of scenario?
Well, we like the idea of a funky food truck being at a brewery, so we want to go with that aesthetic.
Yeah.
And we also have a full functioning kitchen there that supports the food truck, a cold room, freezer space. So we're able to accommodate a lot of people versus what a normal food truck can do.
Hand pies, though.
Hand pies, yeah. So, my brain was going, there's a lot of breweries that do pizza or barbecue, but us being a destination where we want to really draw people to, I thought that I needed a destination food.
Mm-hmm.
And the beer is extreme quality, and it's handcrafted, and I want to kind of complement that with the food.
So we'll dive into the rest of the menu in just a minute, but let's talk about the beer while we can. I know it's the Beef Industry Council, I get that, but we got to talk about the beer just a little bit because y'all are at the end of the day a brewing company as well. What types of beer do you have? What goes into your menu? And a lot of brewing companies will roll it over and change it up every once in a while. Then others will just stick with what they know. What goes into Le Chien?
We do have some flagship beers. We have the Tailwagger, which is a Belgian wit.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, we try to have a good representation of a lot of different styles. So that way when you come by, you don't just see IPAs or sours or a certain type of beer. We have a little bit of something for everybody. We also have wine and margaritas on tap and
Very nice.
fashions. Yeah.
Very nice. So on the beer side, what's your favorite? What are your leanings?
I really like the Unleashed. It's our NEPA. It's very like fresh and crispy. We actually have a Bananas Foster wheat right now.
Interesting.
That's excellent. Really tastes like bananas.
Okay.
I really like the Puppy Love. It's kind of a hybrid type of beer. Of course, all of our names a lot of time have a dog themed. Yeah.
It's been a growing trend, is bringing your dogs places, and
Yeah.
it's nice when you know up front that that's what you're getting. I'm looking to pull up y'all's menu here just because the theme has been phenomenal. I should have done this ahead of time.
And we it's summertime, so we're trying to rotate some more summer beers. We have a Pilsner right now, which is called Endless Summer. And of course, like I said, the Belgian Wit, it's orange and coriander. That's a really good, like, summertime type of beer.
Very nice. All right, let's talk a little bit about beef here. This is Foodie Friday presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Give you the website all the time, beefitswhatsfordinner.com, beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Protein, iron, 10 vitamins and nutrients, essential to every phase of your life. Beefitswhatsfordinner.com if you want some recipes, some cooking tips, and the like. That's where you will find them, and they bring you Foodie Friday every week. So let's talk a little bit about a cheeseburger hand pie. That's what we've got on tap for today, but what else is on the menu?
We've partnered with Randazzo's. We also have a meatball marinara pie using their meatballs and marinara.
Okay.
So, I mean, why attempt something when there's somebody who does it really well?
Well, yeah.
We have a pepperoni pizza pie. A lot of kids get that.
Okay.
I have a smoked chicken and mac and cheese pie.
I've had that one. That one is so ridiculously good because it's a combo that I wasn't expecting inside the pie.
Yeah. I made a homemade mac and cheese, and I was just waiting for the opportunity to present itself to do something crazy with it, and that one is very good.
So I'm digging through the menu
and
right now.
We do have some appetizers. We've created our own green beans that we fry. Of course, we do fries and onion rings. We have some excellent boudin balls. I use a beer batter on the boudin balls, and we have a homemade sauce that we serve with them.
We are super late for break. No, let's go ahead. Okay. We kind of missed the break. We're getting into the hand pies and missed the... We're going to take our break here in just a minute. We missed your money now. This is Foodie Friday presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Ryan Dunham from Chien Brewing Company is our guest. We're going to take a break here in just a minute. Come back and we'll continue. We're going to dig in while we're in that break. Ryan has brought us some cheeseburger hand pies to try out. Just another example of how versatile beef can be. When you're incorporating beef within your regular family menu, and you can find a million different ways to use it. Beefitswhatsfordinner.com if you want some of those recipes. So, Foodie Friday will continue in just a little bit. We are going to take that break right now. Alondra will have traffic one more time for us as we're heading into the holiday weekend. Been relatively light on the streets of Baton Rouge so far. Guessing a lot of people are taking off. Maybe that traffic's going to pick up a little bit later on in the day as more and more people hit the road for the 4th of July weekend. All right. Yeah. All right, so let's open up here. Let's get a look.
All right.
Let's see what we got going on. Oh, my word. Let me grab that picture for the website first.
I brought y'all some stickers, too.
Oh, beautiful. It's totally, yes.
Yeah. So the Natchitoches meat pies, I think they use a cornmeal.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is made with a traditional pie crust. We use like a European cow butter.
Well, let's talk about that when we come back in for sure.
Yeah.
Kate, I'm going to forward you this picture to put out for the post.
You want one? A cheeseburger hand pie?
I'll try it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. There's an extra one here if anybody wants it later or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we share with the folks down the hall for sure. So. What's the proper etiquette? Oh, my God. Hang on. I got to.
Kate doesn't put himself on.
No, I know. So, we need your camera on there.
Click the 4 on the, no. Where your little square is?
Next one, yeah. This one?
No, the next one? Click the 4.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
Oh, bro. See, that's a minor league mascot right there. We were talking to the Montgomery Biscuits earlier.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a mascot right there.
I've gone with the whole retro theme. It's kind of like let's go to the movies.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so. All right.
Here, mine's cut in half.
Oh, go for it. All right. So we're still on YouTube during the break.
Oh, okay.
Keeps us rolling.
Excellent.
All right, YouTube. Who has been to Chien Brewing Company? And let me know how awesome they are.
Oh, you want me to take it back off, Kate? You want me to take it back out?
I got to dig in on this. Look at that. Look at the cheese.
Do you have another little plate?
Yeah. Look, I got a whole nother pie there too.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Okay.
Do you want a whole one or just half?
Welcome back, Mr. Haldane.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't just take off all the way through Monday. So I got to figure out how to get this bot off of here because it's posted up another 100 times.
No, turn it off.
What y'all think?
Absolutely.
It's ridiculously good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I go all the time.
Okay.
I live out in Walker.
Okay,
I've
excellent.
had like those Oreo balls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I never had the meat pies.
Yeah, Oreo stuffed beignets, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
I have a whole section on the menu that only has Oreo beignets underneath it. I call it deadly desserts because
Dude, they're good. I get them every time I go. I'm going to have to get this now, though.
don't try them if you're pre-diabetic though.
That's some good advice.
856 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Couple minutes to go here with Ryan Dunham from Chien and Pie-Eyed. We're talking about the cheeseburger hand pie. All right, Ryan, I wasn't ready for this. Went ahead and tried it during the break, and so first of all, so cheesy, so good. But I was expecting like a meat pie.
Uh-huh.
When I was expecting from what it's beef, it's a hand pie. I was expecting like a traditional Natchitoches meat pie, but you were telling me that y'all make your crust a little bit different.
Yeah, so I think that a Natchitoches meat pie uses cornmeal, and we actually use a traditional pie crust. So we use like a European-style cow butter to make it, and we make everything on site. So we roll the dough, we make the pies by hand. They're hand crimped, and I think that the quality really shows.
And it holds up when you talk about beef, and I assume it's just ground chuck 80-20.
No, so actually we use 88%.
Oh wow, so very lean.
Yeah. So, am I allowed to say where I get it from? Or
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I buy the meat from Costco. I find that their meat department's excellent, and they really provide quality. And I found that if you buy the meat in the big old tube, that when you cook it, it's a little cheaper. But when you cook it, it actually creates a lot of water, a lot of oil, and you get less end product.
Right.
So I'd rather pay more for more expensive quality ground ground meat
Mhm.
that's not going to reduce down to nothing. I mean, I think the price is there's not really a price difference when you look at the end product.
Right, and when you're going, so if you were going something that's outside of a crust like this, the crust has to hold up.
Yeah.
So if you're going inside the crust, you need that leaner. Normally, fats, the flavors in the fat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're inside the crust, though, you got to walk that balance of having on the one side, keeping the, and this is so flavorful, it's so good.
Thank you.
No, thank you. You got to keep the flavor on the one side, but on the other side, have it hold up to where it's not falling apart, and you're not like looking at meat pudding.
It's all a delicate science,
Yes.
really. To have the right consistency inside, so it doesn't let water out. It doesn't make the crust wet.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's been an ordeal to figure out, but we've perfected it. So.
And yes, you absolutely have perfected it. So on top of that, of course, it's cheeseburger.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cheese in there, so that's going to add to what would make it sloppy. Seasoning wise, what goes into, because it tastes very simple. You're letting the beef do its job.
Yes.
Beef has all the flavor you need, so you're letting the beef do its job. What goes into the seasoning?
We really just take the ground beef and we mix in salt and pepper
Mhm.
into it and mix it up.
It's amazing
And
how
we
simple.
saute some red onions.
Okay.
Put that in there, and then we have a cheeseburger sauce, and it's that easy. I mean, so I like the simplicity in the pie because you really get all the different flavors, and it speaks for itself.
And it is wonderful. It does speak for itself. We got to get out of here. Chien Brewing in Denham Springs. Give us the address again.
It's 101 South Hummel in Denham Springs, right by the Antique District.
101 South Hummel. Don't forget the 4th of July party going on tomorrow.
Yes.
Saturday. Police department versus fire department. You're going to have entertainment out there. There's going to be a hot dog eating. Police department versus fire department is going to be hot dog eating contest. And Father Matthew Graham going to be in the Duncan booth. Ryan, I appreciate you coming on today, man.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you.
No, glad to have you on. This was excellent. And the cheeseburger hand pie is ridiculous. All right. This has been Foodie Friday, presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. We got to get out of here. We will see y'all, not Monday. We are off Monday. Monday is Independence Day, and we will celebrate accordingly. We will see y'all next Tuesday right here on Talk 107.3. All right. Dude, this was phenomenal. Oh, wait. YouTube, y'all have a great weekend. Be safe this weekend, y'all. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Thanks,
Later.
y'all.
Bro, this was awesome.
Glad you enjoyed it.
This was great segment. I'll get 25 minutes talking about nothing but beef.
Yeah.
So I like when I have somebody who can talk about it a little bit more.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I cannot believe when Chuck said the name of the place, like, I don't know why this wasn't registering with me, but as soon as I saw the pictures, I'm like, holy shit, I've been there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pie-eyed, not a lot of people know about it because we really had to stay inside of Chien. So,
Right.
yeah. So.
I didn't realize it was a different name.
Yeah. So it's actually, I was going to have my separate business, but we actually merged together, and now I'm an owner of Chien, and Chien owns the food truck, but I want to keep the separate branding because a Chien food truck, what does that sell? So, I wanted to keep the separate branding and have my own brand identity.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. And then if I ever want to go off and create my own restaurant or something doing it, I can do that. So, yeah.
Right. And gives you room for expansion.
Yeah. No.
So, well, I appreciate you coming down.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Come on by sometime.
Do what?
Come on by sometime.
No, I will.
Yeah.
We'll be back there. We for some reason, my wife and I, we're on vacation. We'll go to breweries and when we're at home, we're just it's the kids' schedules before anything.
Yeah.
Wait, did
Yeah.
you sign up at YouTube already?
Yeah, I thought so. So,